Good evening and welcome to Denison High School football. Tonight, the Denison Yellowjackets take on the Wichita Falls Hirschi Huskies at Munson Stadium in Denison, Texas. I'm Lynn Burkhead, your play-by-play host, along with Monte Walker, your color analyst. Our spotter tonight, Dale Davis, our producer and stat man, Kevin Farr, and roaming the sidelines, Jason Fuzzy Smith. Thank you very much for joining us on this Cable One Tuesday night replay of Yellowjacket football. Let's check down on the sidelines. The Fuzzinator. Fuzzy, a lot different atmosphere tonight, and the thermometer is cooperating.
That's exactly right, guys. One quick note of interest. Hirschi has an outstanding kickoff return. It's called a starburst. And Jamie Butler told me a little bit earlier that the Jackets will be squib kicking all night to stay away from this sunburst return. Chauncey Lanier, their tailback, as you mentioned just a moment ago, does have a verified 4.2 40. So the Jackets will do all that they can in their power to stay away from his return abilities.
Wow. DeMarcus White, Kevin Brown, and Tornell Hunter back deep for the Huskies. Doubt we'll see them carry the football as James Butler tees it up at the 40-yard line. The sun setting in the western horizon. It's football time in Texas, and Mr. Butler puts the foot into this one. It is a bounding squib kick that's going to be taken by Kevin Brown. They're going to run the starburst anyway. This is going to be Chauncey Lanier. He is going to be tackled crossing the 30-yard line at the 31-yard line. They were able to run it even though the Jackets didn't want them to, and it was pretty exciting for just a moment.
Yeah, it sure was, and Antoine Craddock comes off the pile after making that stop. I didn't think we'd see a starburst, but here you go, and we're seeing a burst of speed, and let's see how Mr. Lanier's 4.2 speed can do against this Denison Yellowjacket tough defensive group.
We will see what he can do. He had an injury in the spring they say he's recovering from. They would not specify what that injury was. He is not going to be the starter. It's going to be Jakari Cooper in the backfield. This is the wing T look. One receiver to the near side for Graham. Dustin Graham, the quarterback. And he'll send the man in motion. He's going to hand it off to the motion man. That's going to be Kevin Brown coming to the near side. First down carry for the Hirschi Huskies as he crossed the 40-yard line, made it out to the 43-yard line before Lionel Moore. I believe that's Lionel Moore. Comes in. It's Kellen Federa, rather, coming up to make the stop for the Yellowjackets. The 6-foot, 185-pound free safety making the stop after a 12-yard gain.
Showing some speed there from the fullback position. Mr. Brown taking the right pitch, and they got some speed at that position too.
Yeah, speed is something the Huskies have always been known for. They always seem to have an abundance of that. One man in the backfield, and that will be Jakari Cooper. He'll get the toss left side, 45 up to the 50, and he's upended at the 48, falls forward to the 50. And that's a pickup of 7 on first down. So second down and about 4 yards coming up. Actually, they're going to say his knee went down at the 49. So we'll give him 5 yards on the carry. Second and along 4.5, coming up nearly 5 for the first down.
Well, you can't, early in the going, you can't give up this many yards on first and second down. You've got to stop him at some point, and now would be a great time to set up a 3rd and long.
Second down, 4.5 yards to go for the Huskies. Wing T look, 2 receivers to the far side. The Huskies left to right on your radio dial. This is Graham running the, no, it's an inside give. This is Kevin Brown coming near side, 40, 35, 30, deep into Denison territory and wrestled down at the 18-yard line. Call it the 17. He's going to be stopped by Kellen Federa once again, and that one play has burned Denison not once but twice on this opening drive.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's a little counter action where he's actually, it's almost a trap looking play, but it's not. It's a counter play from the tailback, and he runs all the way to the right side from the other side of the field, and Federa horse-collared him, grabbed him around the neck, and threw him down.
Well, a 33-yard gain right there. The key to that is the flow going the opposite direction, and then they cut it back on that inside counter play. This is going to be Graham. He's going to send his receiver in motion, and he's going to lose the football, tries to pick it up, loses the ball again. The Yellowjackets have recovered. Shelly Pitts on the recovery, rumbling 45, 50, 40 to the 35, 30, and he is still going 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, stick it in the end zone, put it on the scoreboard, 73 yards. The Yellowjackets strike first blood tonight, and the Jackets lead 6-0.
Oh, baby, what a run by Shelly Pitts.
But give all the credit to everyone else that was protecting him down the field, would not let the Huskies through. 73 yards later, he's in the end zone. There is a flag on the play, could be excessive celebration.
It could be, but I'm telling you, that wall that was set up by the Denison defense allowed Shelly Pitts to score. You can watch the replay. Shelly Pitts is not the fastest guy on the field, but there was nobody going to penetrate that wall.
Yeah, it's personal foul. The Jackets celebrating too much. This is going to become a field goal effort instead of a PAT. But I'm going to tell you what, watch Tuesday night on the replay on Cable 1. That was awesome, that wall, because the Jackets, when he picked that football up, they said, seal it off, baby. And he was gone.
That's exactly what happened. Coach Brown will love to see that one on the film.
Well, they're going to back the Jackets up and make them kick a field goal. Oh, it is against Hirschi. All right. Huskies not happy about the way that one went. And the Jackets, when it looked like Hirschi was striking first blood, the Jacket defense roars through. It was a bobbled snap. Graham couldn't get the handle on it, and I believe it was Shelly Pitts that hit him and caused the ball to come loose the second time. High snap. It's going to be down. Butler's kick's on the way. It's good. We've got a flag, and Butler was rubbed, and he may be hurt. He's coming up limping, and we're going to have to check that when we come back. Jackets 7-0. They take the lead. 10:03 to go in the first quarter here on Katy Country. Yellowjacket football coming back in 60 seconds.
And that leaves our score 7-0. 10:03 left here in the first.
Hopefully these are good indicators of how tonight's going to go. Brenton Nesbitt, the holder, a high snap from the snapper, Lionel Moore, but he got it down. Butler got the kick right down the middle, and he got roughed on the PAT, and they're going to mark it off on the Huskies, and at the ball's going to be kicked from the Hirschi 45-yard line. The Jackets hopefully will come up with some excellent field position. Mr. Butler can put this one probably over the fence. And he is going to bang it short. It's going to go into the end zone about 5 yards deep. And it's going to be Brown bringing it out up to the 10, 15, and he's going down. Well, I said the 10. It was actually, or 15. It was actually the 11-yard line that he crossed. And he goes down at the 12, and that's where the Huskies will start. They're stunned.
Yeah, the Jacket,
like they were driving in, and boom.
Yeah, Jackets coming back on the field. They're looking pumped now. That's a definite ego booster when you do something like that, and Denison needed that to start the game, and who knows where we can go from here.
Yeah, you need something to get you kicked in high gear, and the Jackets got it right there. First defensive touchdown of the season, hopefully, and probably not the last defensive touchdown. This will be a 3 wideout look for the Huskies. They'll split the backs in the backfield behind Dustin Graham, their 6', 180-pound quarterback. He'll call for the ball, send one man in motion, flag on the play, as Tornell Hunter might have turned upfield a little bit too soon. Somebody jumped for Hirschi, and that's going to be the indication. Illegal procedure. The ball was on the 12. They're going to back it up 5. It's now going to be 1st and 15 from the 7-yard line. And boy, how about a turnover right here?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Going the other way in the penalty department, already 3 hankies against the Huskies, and we're not even 3 minutes deep into the game.
Well, you hate to see hankies in a game anyway, because that means it's sloppy, but at least it's on the other side of the field this
We don't
game.
mind if it's sloppy on the red and, what would you call that? Houston Oiler blue?
Baby blue.
Baby blue.
Watch out for the baby blue.
This is going to be Graham. He is going to hand it off going the opposite direction as he spun around, and it's going to be a carry out across the 10 to about the 13 or 14-yard line. So it's going to be second down, and we'll call it 10 yards. They're going to say you got back to the original line of scrimmage. So second down and 10, a pickup of 5 on the carry, and believe that was Kevin Brown on the carry.
Denison looking tough so far on defense. Really stepping up. Forrest Poole and company. Ryan Johnson out on the field. Antoine Craddock. All of those guys. Lionel Moore pumping his teammate right there on the head, saying, let's go, let's go.
What a delightful evening here at Munson Stadium. We're going to check down with the Fuzzinator in just a moment. Second down and 9.5 yards. We'll call it 10 to go for the Huskies. Split backs, the wing T look. Actually, this is going to be a toss coming near side. It is going to be their stud tailback, Chauncey Lanier, and he cuts back inside, gets out to the 25-yard line. That's enough for the first down. And Jason Smith, the Jackets are pumped, but a disturbing trend early. Denison having trouble stopping the Husky running game.
When you're seeing a tailback that runs as fast as Lanier is, it is going to be tough to stop him. I don't care who your defense is. Just a quick note also on the color you guys were talking about. The actual color of the Hirschi helmets is Columbia blue.
Columbia blue. There we go.
Wow. That's what we pay you the big money for, Fuzzy.
What would you call that? Fire engine Cadillac red? That is a bright red. This is going to be Lanier getting the toss left side, forced to turn it back in. Nowhere to go. A short gain of maybe 1.
Forrest Poole really played his position well. He took the pitch man as soon as he got the ball. He was right there, let him go, and as soon as he stood him up, all the other guys came up, including the big guy.
That's exactly the way you want your defense to work. Forrest Poole turned him inside. Lionel Moore comes over from his linebacker position and finishes it off.
Yeah, exactly right. Denison looking tough, except for that one big play. Denison's defense has really played well.
I think the key is going to be to keep Lanier bottled up in the inside of the field. Don't let him get outside or he can torch you. This is going to be a quick throw out in the flats. It's going to be incomplete. Could be ruled a fumble. The official right there says no. It was close to being a lateral behind the line of scrimmage, but the official said no. He was about a yard deep beyond the line of scrimmage. Incomplete pass. 3rd down and 10 coming up from the 25.
That pass thrown is kind of a screen pass out to his receiver, Tornell Hunter. And Tornell had that ball hit him right on his number 1, but he wasn't number 1 on that play as it went right through his arms.
Only 4 starters back from last year's 9-3 co-district champ team. That would be Justin Watson. He returns offensively, and the center, Stephen Cruz. Everybody else new, but both of those guys, first-team all-district offensive linemen, so they've got some experience there. This is going to be Graham running, trying to get free, and he's hit as he throws. The ball squirts to the field at the 27. Incomplete pass, and the Huskies, Matt Ramirez, will be forced to put the foot into the football with the first punt of the night.
Wow. Dustin Graham meets Brandon Scruggs.
And it was not a pleasant meeting.
No, it wasn't. Brandon wrapped him up, hit him hard as soon as he was about to throw the football. And he was trying to throw it, but it was an errant throw after he took that vicious hit.
Yep, that was that was a rude awakening. Back deep for the Yellowjackets, Ronnie Ford and Brian Adams in punt return duty, looking for the Yellowjackets' first actual return of the year in the punt return department. And both of these young men, high snap, the Jackets are going to be able to pin the punter, Ramirez, back deep. Now he's going to get free. Look out. He's got a little room to run on the near sideline. Flag on the play, 2 flags. He does not get the first down by a country mile. There's going to be a blocking infraction at the 15 against the against the Huskies, but the Jackets are going to come away with excellent field position. And here we go. We talked about the defense being much improved, and already in the first 2 series tonight, we've seen the defense do its job.
Yeah, we sure did. Justin Melton was the man back there, Johnny on the spot. Thought he was going to bring him down for a big loss, but he actually slipped out of his hands, but his partners were there to make the play. And it looks like the infraction is going to be against Wichita Falls, and Denison is looking really good early.
Yeah, holding the indication. It is declined by the Jackets, and they are going to set up shop inside the 20-yard line in deep in Husky territory. Our score 7-0. The Jackets lead an electrifying 73-yard fumble return by Shelly Pitts as the Huskies appeared to be driving in for a score themselves. Denison takes it 73 the other way, and now the Jackets with the ball at the 19-yard line after the muff punt.
Rob Crawley and Ronnie Ford say, we've got 19 yards to pay dirt. Let's stick it in the end zone and put it on that scoreboard.
Let's hope so. Big Eric Jackson will be the tight end on the left side. The 2 tight power eye look for Denison. 1st and 10 for the 19-yard line. Crawley's going to hand it off forward. He's going over left tackle, gets to the 16 before he's wrestled to the turf. A pickup of 3 yards. I think the key offensively for Denison, Monte, is their offensive line. They start a big senior, 6'3", 255, Cliff Davis up front, but they start 2 sophomores and 1 junior. As that line matures and seasons, Mr. Ford and Federa are going to eat up some big yards.
Yeah, I think you're right. Offensively, they have to control the line of scrimmage tonight.
It is a huge line. 6'2", almost 6'3", 230 the average for the Jackets across the front. 2 receiver look. Crawley deep handoff forward. His feet taken out from under him at the line. Got to the 15-yard line before he is wrestled down. It's going to set up an interesting 3rd down call for Bob Brown and his coaching staff. 3rd down and 7 coming up for Denison. The ball spotted at the 16.
Remember last week on 3rd down plays, Denison's offense only averaged 1.38 yards on this 3rd down. Let's see what they come out with here early on.
Lynn Burkhead and Monty Walker with you tonight on KD Country. The Jackets up 7-0, looking for more. 3rd and 7 from the Huskies. 16-yard line. Split backs, 3 receiver look. Crawley. Quick drop. He'll throw over the middle. Caught Brian Adams at the 6-yard line. It's going to be close to the first down yardage necessary. I think he's going to have it by a yard. The official is spotting it at the 7, and if that's the case, it's a first down, Denison.
That's very, very, very close, and they're going to go ahead, and it's going to be a first down. And if you look for any receiver on the field on third down, you've got to go to your bread and butter hands man, and that's Brian Adams. He catches everything that you throw at him.
Red zone opportunities last week for Denison. They got into the red zone. Well, we'll go over that in just a minute. This is a handoff. Ronnie Ford tries to break free as he headed up to the middle of the pile. He's wrestled backwards to the 15-yard line. They're going to give him credit. Back to the line of scrimmage. Denison staying with a run here. In the red zone last week, Denison 1 out of 1. They scored a touchdown the only time they penetrated the 20-yard line against Paris. They're inside the 20 now. And they're looking for points right here. 5:55 and rolling in the first quarter, 7-0. Denison in the lead. Second and goal from the 7 after no gain. Ronnie Ford, the Jackets staying with the 2 tight end. Power eye look. Crawley up under center. Now the Jacket fullback shift. And this is going to be a flag. Too much time. The Jackets took too much time getting that one off. That's going to back them up. It's going to be second and goal from the 12. And that's good and bad. You don't like the penalty, but it actually gives you a little bit more room to work with if you'd like to throw the football.
Yeah, Butler loosening up on the sidelines. He's acting like he's kicking field goal, just kind of loosening his left leg. You know, he is the left-footed kicker, and but we don't want to see him out there kicking a field goal. We want to see him score the touchdown.
We want to see him kicking a PAT in a moment. 7-0, 5:38 to go. And the Jackets banging on the door for more. They're at the Husky 12-yard line. A touchdown here would be huge. Power eye look again for Denison. And Crawley, he's going to play action fake. He wants to throw. Pressure's coming. He's rolling out, wanting to throw on the run. Throws. It's picked off. It's picked off. This could go all the way back the other way. It doesn't. But the Jackets blow a golden scoring opportunity. And the interception over there is going to be made by DeMarcus White, the sophomore, and he was just sitting over there in coverage, and Rob Crawley has his 4th interception of the year.
Yeah, Crawley sure does, and that time he had Ryan Johnson out in the flats. Could have just dumped it off, but he said, no, I don't want to throw it there. That looks too easy. I'm going to try to go downfield a little more, and he got chased out of the pocket a little bit, and finally he just made a decision to throw it down the field, and unfortunately DeMarcus White was there and not his intended receiver.
Well, there's going to be a infraction on the return, and they're going to back the Huskies up deep into their own territory again. The ball's going to be spotted at the 16-yard line. And no, it's actually going to be spotted at the 10-yard line. Unsportsmanlike conduct called during the return after DeMarcus White intercepted the ball. The Jackets -4 in the turnover department coming in the turnover ratio. They improved it to -3 earlier in this quarter, but now it's back to -4. That's a number that's going to have to improve. This is going to be Graham handing it off to the first man through, Jakari Cooper for the Huskies, and he is a fumble on the play, and there's a scramble for the ball. I think he was down a long time before they started scrambling for the football. The official is going to agree with me, and they're going to, nope, he's not. I don't know what, last week, if you even thought about being down, you were down. That time, there was a big pile, everything stopped for a moment, and then the ball squirted free.
Yeah, and Hirschi recovered, but, let's say that Antoine Craddock was right there because he was, but he wasn't there fast enough as Hirschi jumped back on the ball.
Well, after it goes upfield another 5 yards after being fumbled, it's second down and 1 yard to go for the Huskies at the 19-yard line, their own 19. Wing T look, one receiver, he'll split to the left side for the Hirschi Huskies. Graham's going to hand it off, first man through, and he doesn't have very much room to run. I believe that is Cooper again on the carry. Nope, this time it's going to be Chauncey Lanier. He's going to get the first down, however, as he gets out to the 23-yard line. First and 10 there, 4:26 to go in the first quarter. It's been a seesaw affair. Denison up 7-0. Scores we're following tonight: Sherman, Wichita Falls, Durant, Hugo, Samuel, and Paris, Greenville, Corsicana, Coppell, and Highland Park. 7-0, Wichita Falls in an update leading media. First down and 10, the ball at the 23-yard line. 4:09 and counting. Here in the first quarter, we're going to check in with the Fuzzinator in just a couple of moments as this wing tee goes in motion. It's going to be a reverse. This is going to be Chauncey Lanier. He's going to be stuffed by his own man, which allowed the Jackets to swarm quickly. His own man trying to block, Kevin Brown, got stuffed by the man he was trying to block, which was, I believe, Ryan Johnson. That forced Lanier to turn it inside, and the Jackets swarmed to make the tackle.
Yeah, that was a great play. Eric Jackson, big Eric Jackson on that left defensive end, played outstanding job. He didn't leave on that reverse. He stayed at home, played his position, and was there to make the tackle.
Going to set up 2nd down and 6 for the Huskies. They've been able to move the ball on the ground, yet to throw a pass. And in this wing tee, they really do not like to throw. But when they do throw, they have been successful. Tend to lull their opponents to sleep. Now they're going to take too much time, and suddenly it's going to be 5 yards marked off against the Huskies. So penalties already rearing their ugly head. Fuzzinator, we saw a lot of hankies last week. Already tonight, I think 5 if I'm counting right.
Yeah, it's looking a whole lot better since it's on the other side of the field tonight. That's the big advantage here. On the fumble that we had just a couple of plays ago, you guys were talking about, that ball was actually stripped out of there by Scruggs, who ripped the ball away as the guy was trying to go down.
2nd down and 11. Johnny on the spot once again, the Fuzzinator. This is going to be Graham. He's going to run the option, pitches it to Jakari Cooper. Lots of room to run. He's tripped up after picking up 8 yards on the carry. It'll be 3rd down and about 2.5, maybe 3 yards to go. And a nice job of bouncing outside for Cooper.
Yeah, and he actually got about 3 yards after hurdling Brett Taylor. Taylor was there to make the stop, went down almost to a knee to make the tackle, and he just hurdled him and got another 3 yards.
And Taylor was able to upset the apple cart, so to speak, as he went across him, but he still got those extra 3. And instead of 3rd down and long, it's now 3rd down and short. 3rd down and 2. The clock rolling, 2:31 and counting in the first quarter. 7-0. Denison leading here on KMKT Country. Lynn Burkhead and Monte Walker. This is a wishbone look backfield. Going to be a handoff inside to the fullback. He's got the 1st down as he gets out to the 35-yard line. Now they're going to mark it back a step. It's still going to be the 1st down. He had to get across the 34, and he easily did that. That's the fullback, Cooper, once again on the carry. And it'll be a new set of downs for the Huskies.
Yeah, at that time, Cooper running around the right side just took Ryan Johnson with him. Johnson had him around the shoulder pads, and Cooper kept going.
Score from last night, Denison's next opponent, Lawton Ike, defeated Wichita Falls Ryder 28-11. Jackets traveling. Ryder is the next opponent, not Lawton Ike, but Ryder beaten last night by the Oklahoma school. 28-11 the final there. Flags before this one can get underway. Dustin Graham turns around in disgust. This is going to be procedure, I believe, and that's the indication against the Huskies. So 1st and 10 is now 1st and 15. Let's start with the Fuzzinator again. Fuzzy, 111 last Friday night. I'll take this.
Oh, man, this is absolutely gorgeous down here. I don't know exactly what the temperature is. Some people are saying low 80s or something like that, but as hot as it's been, I think 60 degrees would feel this gorgeous. It is absolutely beautiful, a beautiful night for football here at Munson Stadium.
And the Jackets will take a timeout, as it is a beautiful night. They lead 7-0. Back in a moment on KMKT Country with more Denison High School football. Back at Munson Stadium, Lynn Burkhead and the rest of the crew. That would be Monte Walker, Kevin Farr, Dale Davis, and the Fuzzinator roaming the sidelines. I can tell you what, Jason talking about the beautiful weather, Monte, I measure the weather by a different means when I break a sweat, and I hadn't even touched one yet tonight.
Well, unlike me, when I sweat just thinking about working out or anything like that, I'm breaking a few drops of sweat here.
It's a very pleasant evening, and we've got better weather to come as we get deeper into fall. 1st and 15 after the penalty. 4 wide out look. This is new. Deep power draw to Chauncey Lanier, and he's tripped up as he crossed the 30-yard line. They're going to give him about 2 yards on the pickup, and it's Brandon Scruggs on the stop. Debo making the grab.
Yeah, once again, him and also Shelly Pitts on the stop. Great play by the linebackers, not cheating out, not going with the receivers, staying at home and playing the draw. The defense has really played an outstanding game tonight.
Join us at halftime. Jason Fuzzy Smith is going to be presenting the Yellowjacket halftime report. He's going to be visiting with Dr. Henry Scott, the superintendent for the Denison ISD. Lots of good things happening at Big D, and Dr. Scott is going to tell us all about them. 3 wide out look, and this is the first pass of the night for the Huskies, and Graham's going to throw it. It's going to be caught incomplete. He couldn't hold on. That was going to be the wide out. Tornell Hunter, and he is the only two-way starter for the Huskies. Coach Edelman telling us this week that's something they pride themselves on. They don't like two-way starters. He's the only one. Free safety and wide out.
Yeah, you're right. That time on that play, he had three receivers out. Graham going back to pass had Forrest Poole in his face, hurdled one guy, caught his feet, and by the time he got to him, it was actually Brandon Scruggs that was in his face. So he had the heat coming from 2 Denison Yellowjackets and just had to unload the ball.
3rd down and 13, 1 out of 2 in third down conversion departments for the Huskies tonight. Split backs in the backfield, 3 receiver look. Graham rolling to the near side, wanting to throw. Now he's going to fake it, tuck it up, and run, and he's going to be hammered. Forrest Poole's there, stops him at the 38-yard line. great job. Forrest Poole's really coming on as a linebacker.
Boy, does Forrest Poole know how to play linebacker or what? He's right there every time. He just has a nose for the football, and he's a very smart defensive player. And that sets up a 4th down, and Denison is really looking tough on defense.
Yeah, we got to get the offense going, but they are looking tough. They list Forrest Poole 5'11", 170. The senior, I think he's a little bigger than that. I think he's about 5'9" and about 185, and he hit Graham with a ton of bricks. This is going to be Ramirez punting the football away. It's going to be an end-over-end kick that B.A. Brian Adams takes at the 30. Goes up to the near sideline, cuts it back to the middle. 40. Gets a block, 45 to the 50. Still going. Got to the crowd on their feet. 45, 40, and out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Deep in Hirschi territory. Brian Adams went right, said, nope, there's nothing there. Found a seam up the middle, said, there's not much here. Hit the left sideline and took off to the races. A 37-yard punt return.
Danny Edelman, coaching for Wichita Falls, told us before the game that one of the keys to their game was the kicking game, and didn't want to give up bad field position. However, Denison in their first 2 possessions started the 19, and now they're on 35 respectively.
Well, it didn't hurt them the first time, but they bobbled the punt. Came back not to haunt them on the interception by the Jackets, but this time Denison with great field position again. One man forward in the backfield. Crawley inside reverse to the fullback Pritchard. He's going to be buried in the backfield. A loss of 2 on the play, and the Huskies had that one sniffed out all the way. It's Floyd Holly, the 5'9", 215 junior. Quick defensive tackle making the stop. That's the final play of the first quarter, 7-0. The Yellowjackets lead. We're heading back for the second period here on Katy Country. Yellowjacket football continues in a moment. Back at Munson Stadium, some scores to update you on. It's 7-0 here, Denison over Wichita Falls Hirschi. Number 6 ranked Wichita Falls, 7-0 over the Sherman Bearcats. It's 28-11, the final. Lawton Ike over Wichita Falls Rider last night, and 6-0 Compel over Highland Park in the first quarter. We'll update you on some other scores as we get them. We're ready to start play. It is 2nd down and 12 from the 36-yard line for Denison. They'll switch into the field, head from left to right. 7-0 to score by virtue of a 73-yard fumble return by Shelly Pitts. And the Jackets lead 7-0. Could be more than that. They're looking for more here as Robertson, the tight end, goes in motion. Somebody jumped. 2nd and 12, now 2nd and 17. We'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to KMKT. Back at Munson Stadium, Lynn Burkhead, Monty Walker, Kevin Farr, Jason Fuzzy Smith, and Dale Davis. The Jackets shooting themselves in the foot there. First penalty of the night against Denison, I believe. 2nd penalty. It's now 2nd and 17. The ball at the 41-yard line. Crawley, he'll drop, wants to throw, comes near side. It is almost picked off, and that would have been disaster. It would have been an easy touchdown had it been picked. The intended man, or Tony Jones, the man that nearly made the grab, he slashed in front of Brian Adams, or actually Stengel Parker, and he had his hands on it. He just couldn't haul it in or he was gone. And there was no one in front of him. So it's 3rd down and 17. Denison needs a big play here. They're 1 for 1 on the night in 3rd down conversions. Split receivers, straight eye look behind Crawley, offset eye look rather, and Crawley, this is going to be a play action. Now he's going to drop, wants to set up the screen. He's got it. Ryan Johnson's going to be hammered though as he catches the football. He actually loses a yard. And so Denison's offense continuing to struggle here as we start the second quarter. Joseph Cavanis, the 6'1", 200-pound backup inside linebacker, making the stop. He was right there.
Yeah, he sure was. That's a play we've seen a lot from Denison and Coach Brown in the past, and that used to, we saw that work a lot last year with Ryan Johnson, but he just simply ran out of room. He was on this side of the field, and when you're running on this quarter of the field and you run that swing play out in the flats, you just don't have a lot of room to work with.
Well, and one of the things that we might want to comment on is early in the season like this, it's hard to get film of this year. So you see a lot of film of last year, and so undoubtedly Hirschi. This is a high snap, and Butler does a great job to get it down, gets a good kick away after the bad snap. It's going to take a Hirschi roll. It's going to be fielded by their up man. He's coming up the middle of the field, 15 to the 20, still going. Uh-oh, this is a lot of problems. Flag down on the play. It is going to be Cooper running down the sidelines. He is going to take it 98 yards unless the flag is against He's going to be stopped at the 1-yard line, rumbling, stumbling inside the 10. There's a hanky laying at the 6-yard line. Kellen Feder finally making the stop. It was Tornell Hunter on the return, and I believe that he did a lot of running for nothing. That's usually a blocking infraction on that type of play where the flag was thrown. But if not, Hirschi's in business knocking on the Denison goal line.
Yeah, you're definitely right. Feder may be hurt on that play. Either that or he's really winded or he may have cramps. I'm not sure, but he's on the far sideline, and 2 Yellow Jackets are helping up. He's the man that made the saving tackle at the 3-yard line before he went in, and he's hurt, folks. I don't know exactly what's wrong with Feder, but he's limping off the field.
Well, he's kind of holding his right shoulder down, and could be that he fell on that shoulder, and that would be a huge loss for Denison because his backup is Ronnie Ford, who also happens to be the starting tailback. It is going to be a clip against the Huskies, and so they're going to haul it all the way back. What would have been a 98-yard punt, or actually a 96-yard punt return down to the 2-yard line. He's going to be wiped out.
He took the ball at the 4-yard line, and the flag is laying at the 7. So he only took 3 steps before the flag went thrown.
Let's check down with Fuzzy. What's wrong with Mr. Feder?
The way it looks right now, it's just a cramp. Doc didn't tell us anything at this time. He really hadn't got the chance to look at him, but he did land really hard on his right shoulder, but he also seems to be experiencing some cramp in his lower right leg.
Well, he ran 97 yards himself to catch Mr. Hunter, and all of that was for naught. Those 2 young men winded right now. We've had a lot of excitement, not a lot of scoring. 10:45 to go in the first half, 7-0 Denison in the lead, but it could be worse on either side. Denison could have more points, or Hirschi could have a few points. As it is, it's 7-0. Neither offense punching it in to the end zone, although Hirschi has been able to move it between the 20s a little bit. We'll update you on the first half statistics in just a moment, as the Jackets try to pin the Huskies deep in the shadow of their own goal line once again. They've already done that a couple of times, and the Huskies have fought their way out both times. This is going to be Graham with 2 receiver look, a split backfield. He's going to hand it off to the first man through. That's Chauncey Lanier. He's going to be stacked at the line, driven backwards into the end zone. Short gain on the play.
Wow. Ronnie Ford is playing that safety position with Feder checking out. He took 10-yard run and just smashed everybody, and the ball carrier and the offensive line, everybody went back about 3 yards. You can thank Ronnie Ford for that play.
Well, we're hoping at halftime to be talking to Ronnie's brother, one of the all-time Yellow Jacket greats, Mr. Kevin Ford, who wowed this crowd here at Munson Stadium many a day back during his career in the early 90s. Went on to play linebacker for the University of Missouri. Going to be 2nd down and 9 yards to go for the Huskies as Graham sets split backs. It's going to be a toss to Kevin Brown. He's going to be tackled in the end zone. That should be a safety. No, there it is. The indication is finally given. It is 9-0 Yellow Jackets, and making the tackle a yard deep into the end zone for Denison, Mr. Action Jackson, Eric himself.
Folks, your Yellow Jackets are back in defensive primetime. These guys are playing one heck of a football game. Look for these Yellow Jackets to really put on a showing here defensively.
Tell you what, if the Jackets can ever get untracked offensively, and I believe they will, with that young offensive line, they could be an explosive football team. They've got great backs, and Rob Crawley, I think, has got the tools to be a great quarterback before the season's over with. And the defense, they're carrying the load doing that. Cable 1 kickoff is coming up. The Huskies could elect to punt the football to the Yellow Jackets, but they're going to kick it instead. Matt Ramirez handles both the punting and the kicking duties. Of course, the ball spotted at the 20. Denison with Ronnie Ford, Montario Johnson, and Brian Adams back deep at the 30-yard line, and Ramirez approaches the ball, bangs it deep. BA's going to have to backtrack it, catches it going backwards, 35 up to the 35-40, still going to the 43-yard line, and Denison gets good field position to start again. We talked about field position. Denison's had that.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They started, like we say, at the 19, on the Wichita Falls 19 the first time, and then the 35, and now they start on their own 43, but they're getting worse, but they've had great field position.
You've had an easy job tonight on this.
0 plays. Well, I guess you can call it 5 yards, because he did go 5 yards to get the quarterback back in the end zone. So and he got the safety, so it's 2 points, and that brings our score to 9-0. We have 9:40 left here in the first half.
Little extracurricular activity offsetting personal foul penalties against both teams, and so nothing doing. The ball stays at the 43-yard line. Denison with that tight 3 wide out look to the left, a wing to the right, and split backs behind Mr. Crawley. He ends it off. Pritchard breaks a tackle up to the 50 and rumbles into Hirschi territory at the 49.
The thing I like about Pritchard is he covers that ball up. He has both hands, and he runs kind of like Moose Johnston did, if you remember Moose.
That's exactly who I was thinking about right there. He just covers it up, lowers the shoulder, and takes off. And if somebody and he is, I'll tell you what, he's not a big guy. Brian Pritchard is not the biggest guy you're going to find playing fullback, 5'10", 185 and a junior, but he plays bigger than that.
Tougher than nails.
2nd down and 3 for the Jackets. The ball at the midfield stripe. They lead 9-0. A defensive 9 points for Denison here on Katy Country. Straight-eyed look behind Rob Crawley. One receiver to the far side. That's Brian Adams. Long snap count. This is a toss forward. Cuts it inside. Tried to head outside. Came back inside. And that young offensive line struggling to stop the quicker Husky defensive line. And again, I hate to keep beating this horse. This is a young line. 2 sophomores, 1 junior. Only 1 veteran returning on that line. That's Cliff Davis. If this line can ever gel, this could be a mean offensive line for Denison. They average 6'3" and 230 across the front.
Yeah, you're exactly right. One thing we really haven't mentioned is the Husky front on defense, and they are really quick.
3rd and 5 for the Jackets. 2 tight end look, offset eye look, tight or wing to the near side. This is going to be Pritchard. Breaks the line of scrimmage, stumbles to the 46-yard line. He's close to the first down. It's going to be a yard short.
Well, he's really close, and if he does get that first down, you can thank Ronnie Ford because he got a vicious block in the backfield, which sprung Pritchard to even have a chance at the first down.
Mark Spate made the stop. I think they're going to call for an official timeout to measure this. It's going to be really close. It's going to be by the nose of the football if he got it. Let's check down with the Fuzzinator. Fuzzy, you blew one last week. Here's time for redemption.
I think he's short again, guys. I'm staying with my same prediction, but
you were wrong.
Well, I hope you blow it again.
Yeah. You know, at least if I blow it in the right direction.
8:04 to go in the half. Here come the Zebras. Yeah, they'll stretch the chains out. And you know what, guys? I think
it's
by
close.
George,
it's close.
I think he got it.
Got it.
All right. I think we've established the pattern here. When Fuzzy says no, it's yes, and when he says yes, it must be no. 8:04 to go in the first half of play. The Jacket defense telling the tale in this one. 9 points. That's all that's up on the board. 73-yard fumble return by Shelly Pitts. A safety by Mr. Action Jackson. And Jackets lead 9-0. The offense moving the football into Hirschi territory. 1st and 10. 2 tight end set. Straight eye look. 1 receiver, Rob Crawley, looking right, then left. Long snap count. And he's going to take it. Turns, tosses forward. Ford hit at the line of scrimmage, trying to keep his feet and find a hole. Can't do it. And he gets about 1, maybe 2 yards out to the 40. We'll call it almost the 45-yard line. It's going to be just short. So a pickup of 1 on the play. 2nd down and 9 coming up. The ball, well, it's actually, they marked it right on the 46.
Ronnie Ford now playing both ways. We haven't checked in on Federa yet and see how he's doing, but
wing look with Pritchard. 2 receivers. That's Craddock and Stengel Parker near side. This is a draw play. Ford. He's got room to run. 45-40. Breaks the tackle. 35-30. He's running to Peter to the 20. Corralled at the 15 and wrestled out of bounds. First down and 10 Denison. And that, my friends, is going to be
31 yards.
31-yard run that Ronnie Ford ripped off on the draw play, making the touchdown-saving tackle for the Huskies, I believe, was the left corner, and that would be Kevin Brown.
Ronnie Ford, now, we mentioned it just before that play, playing both ways, so he may be a little winded, but he didn't show it on that play at all.
Well, Federa is not sitting on the bench, so hopefully he is all right. Ronnie Ford dots the I. B.A. comes over to the near sidelines. Brian Adams, double tight set as Pritchard goes in motion. 1st and 10 from the 15. Deep handoff forward, heading right, gets a block to the 10, breaks a tackle to the 5, down inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. It's 1st and goal, Denison, and that offensive line, they opened the hole that time, and Ronnie Ford said, "Thank you, sir. I know what to do with that."
He sure did. He got 6 yards on that play, and Denison seems to be really rolling now offensively.
Oh, a touchdown here would be huge. 9-0, the Jackets lead. 6:55 and rolling in the first half.
Ryan Johnson checks into the ball game.
Power eye look, 2 tight end set. Crawley's going to toss it forward. He fumbled the ball, or lost the handle, picked it up, and kept going. Stick it in the end zone. Put it on the scoreboard for the first time in the year 2000. Ronnie Ford has crossed into the end zone. It was a high toss. He grabbed the handle as it was climbing up his shoulder pads, hauled it in, and went virtually untouched off the left side to pay dirt for Denison. They lead 15-0. Butler on for the PAT. Nesbitt to hold, Moore to snap. The Jackets with a swinging gate look as Ronnie Ford has scored his first and certainly probably not his last touchdown of the year. Moore, good snap, Nesbitt a good hold, and Mr. Butler has split the uprights again. 16-0, 6:44 to go in the half. Denison leading Hirschi. Yellowjacket football continues in a moment. 16-0 our score on the Cable One kickoff. James Butler's going to squib this one down the field. A high hopper that's going to be taken by the up man. That's going to be, I believe, not Cooper. That's going to be Michael Peterson, and he took it at the 29-yard line, went laterally across the field, and is upended at the 30-yard line. That's where the Huskies start. 7-0, Wichita Falls over Sherman. 28-11, Wichita Falls Ryder losing last night to start the season. That's Denison's next opponent, Ryder, next week at Memorial Stadium. Compel 6-0 over Highland Park. Our score here, 16-0, the Yellowjackets leading Hirschi. 6:36 to go in the first half.
Federa checks back into the ball game. Looks like he's going to be okay. He was stretching his legs. Looked like he may have had a cramp, but he is back in at the safety position.
Dustin Graham, the quarterback, will lead the Huskies to the line. Wing T look, one receiver, Jacket showing blitz, back out. This is the toss. Jakari Cooper coming near side, 35-40. He's corralled by Mr. Federa as he crossed the 45-yard line. Boy, when he got that football, he turned the shoulder pads down and turned the speed on.
Yeah, he sure did. He's a little back. He's not very big. He wears the 44, so we'll call him Robert Newhouse. He's that kind of fullback. Really quick, and before you know it, he had 15 yards.
He's not quite as bulky as Robert Newhouse was, but he can motor pretty fast. That is the trademark that the Huskies have always had. They haven't ever been huge. They don't seem to get those kind of kids. They're big enough on the line, but never the massive team that sometimes you see Ryder or Old High put on the field. But they are quick, and they're showing it tonight. 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line of Wichita Falls Hirschi. This is going to be Graham. Play action pass. Rolling right, wants to throw on the run, launches it downfield, got his man. Tornell Hunter first down in Denison territory at the 35-yard line. Crossing route, Hunter was wide open, and Graham laid it on the money. That's the first pass completion of the night for the Hirschi Huskies.
Yeah, Hunter being the wideout. He coming across the middle. One of the linebackers should have picked him up. Don't know which linebacker it was, but he was all alone as he caught the ball, and that'll move the chains all the way up to the 35-yard line in Denison territory.
Well, you sure don't want to give a quick score back to the Huskies here because you got a 16-point lead, and you want to keep Big Mo on your side. Eric Jackson checking in. By the way, Antoine Craddock on that stop for the Yellowjackets. 1st and 10. This is going to be Graham. This is going to be a reverse. It's going to be Tornell Hunter on the reverse. Breaks a tackle, but then he's corralled from behind, and he goes down for a loss of 3 on the play. Lionel Moore caps it off. Brandon Scruggs started the whole thing.
Yeah, he was initially hit by Brett Taylor, and Taylor had him around the legs, let him go, but as soon as he let him go, Lionel Moore was there to finish it off. And that was a great 2-yard loss. And we told you last week, if you were discouraged by Denison's defensive performance, we told you, hey, don't be. This is a better defensive football team, and they're showing it tonight in this first half.
It wasn't too bad last week. And they're giving up some yards in this bend but not break kind of night against Hirschi, but they haven't given up anything on the board yet. 3 receiver look. Somebody jumped for the Hirschi Huskies. That's Tornell Hunter. He took a step before the snap, and they're going to back up 5. It's going to be 2nd and 17. 14-0. The Coyotes leading the Bearcats out there at Memorial Stadium. And let's check down with the Fuzzinator. Fuzzy, last year the defense was maligned every week. Already this year in only 2 weeks, it looks like Denison's defense, they may be the story this season.
Well, it really appears that way with the guys like Action Jackson and Bevo, Brendan Scruggs up on the front line leading the way, as well as some of the seniors. You know, these guys are just really looking stout. They're bringing such a presence to the field, and they are the leaders of this football team. And the other teams, it's maybe the offense, but here with the Denison Yellowjackets 2000, it's definitely the defense.
So far, anyway, it is. We expect the offense to continue to pick it up, but the defense doing it right now. This is a handoff. It's going to be a no gainer, actually maybe a loss in the play. They might give him a yard credit before he was wrestled to the turf. That was
Action Jackson.
Joseph Cabinets checking into the ball game on the carry as he checked into the wing position, but it was Action Jackson, and it's a loss. 3rd and 16 coming up for the Huskies. Somebody's calling a timeout. We're going to join him. 4:42 to go in the half. 16-0. Denison leads. Yellowjacket football continues in a moment.
But the story so far, early in the game, which really got this game going, was the Shelley Pitts 73-yard fumble, recovery, and return for a touchdown, and that really set the tone early going here in the first half.
Yep, that has set the tone, and 3rd down and 16. Let's hope the Jackets can continue this trend. Hirschi not very successful in 3rd down tonight. Graham rolling to the right, wants to throw on the run, is going to do so over his intended receiver's hands. It hit him in the upper part of his hands, but he couldn't hang on to it. And I believe that was Hunter again, the intended wideout. It's 4th and 16.
Yeah, had he made that catch, he was going up, and if he would have made it, he'd have been about 5 yards short, and he might have had a broken back as Brett Taylor came in and really just leveled him. And that would have been really ugly.
I know for a fact Mr. Taylor likes to hunt with his granddad, Ken Taylor. Likes to go deer hunting, and he had the bullseye painted on Mr. Hunter that time. The hunter became the hunted on that particular play. The Zebras are going to stop play for some reason. Somebody's called a timeout. The Yellowjackets have. 4:35 to go in the first half. 16-zip. Denison leads. Yellowjacket football coming back on KMKT. Back at Munson Stadium, a new punter into the ball game for the Hirschi Huskies. Matt Ramirez, the man that started and was thought to be the man going the distance. Don't know if he's hurt, but it is going to be Tony Jones in for the punt, and it could be a fake. Mr. Jones with plenty of speed. Denison alert for the fake. Ford and Adams back, and Mr. Jones is going to put the foot in this one. Kicks away from Brian Adams. He's going to let it bounce into the end zone, and the Jackets are going to come out to the 20-yard line with 4:28 to go in the first half. Monte, defense has carried the load for most of this game, but the last drive, the offense picked up the pace.
Yeah, they sure did. They looked really good on this north end, actually south end of the football field as they were driving, and got the big run from Ronnie Ford. Actually got the key block from Ronnie Ford to set it up and to get Pritchard the first down, and then Ford took it all the way, and he pretty much took over on that drive.
Tomorrow night, Katy Country, an official sponsor over at Burkhead Stadium, the 10th annual Kiwanis Kangaroo Classic between Austin College and Millsap. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. Some exciting things coming up tomorrow. 10th annual fundraiser. Here it's Denison 16-0, 1st and 10. Ronnie Ford gets the handoff. Look out. 25. Broke a tackle out to the 29-yard line. 9-yard gain. Ronnie Ford starting to eat up some turf.
This is the Denison offense that we saw last year with DeJuan Gentry running the football. This year it's Ronnie Ford and running pretty much the same basic offense, but doing pretty much the same job, getting 9 yards a pop here in this latter part of this first quarter, or first half, actually.
One man, that'll be Ronnie Ford in the backfield. Actually kind of a wing offset eye look for the Yellowjackets. This is the handoff. Pritchard breaks the line of scrimmage, picks up the first down out to the 34-yard line. The Jackets move the sticks with 3:51 to go in the first half. They're up 16-0. The Kiwanis Kangaroo Classic tomorrow night. I'm going to make a prediction. Austin College has played this game for 10 straight years. Alan Crone and Tom Miller over at KXI talking about a little rain tomorrow night. If you want a drought buster, just let the Kangaroos play the Kiwanis Club Classic. Maybe tomorrow night we finally get the drought broken. We'll see. Straight eye look, 2 tight set, 1 receiver for Denison. New set of downs. Pritchard, big hole, but he's going to be hit. Actually, he's going to be just, somebody reached out and grabbed the side of his jersey, Joseph Cabinets, and he held on for dear life, because if he didn't, Pritchard had a lot of room to run. He drags him down after a 1.5 gain. It's 2nd down and 8, 3:19 and counting in the first half. 16-zip Denison.
Well, I'm really impressed with this offensive line here in this latter part, and they're really looking good. Looks like they're gelling together, and you can't ask for more than what they've done in the last drive and a half.
Antoine Craddock, the lone wideout. 2 tight look for Denison. Offset eye, 2nd and 8. This is a deep handoff forward. Goes to the near side, comes back across the middle. Nice running up the middle for Ronnie Ford as he literally backed his way down the field before the Hirschi Huskies linebacker Jeremiah Jackson comes over to make the stop. It's going to be a pickup of, we'll call it 7 yards, 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, he's putting Denison in position there single-handedly. Ronnie Ford, with 2 minutes and 35 seconds left to go in this half. They're moving the football, and it's third and very, very close.
Yep, need the first here and then kick it into the 2-minute offense. Hirschi's jump, get back. Ford gets the toss, comes near side. Now he's going to go the other side. He probably should have stayed where he was because he's going to lose yardage. Somebody fought off a block and was able to corral Ronnie Ford from behind. And the Jackets will probably have to punt the football away. Derek Spafford, the 6'2", 225 junior, quick defensive end, is the man that fought off the block and made the tackle. Looked like Ford might have been able to get it, but Spafford fought the block off and ended any chance of that.
Well, he ran up hard through the middle, and there was nothing there, so he backed off and went to the left. Backed off there because there was nothing. Then he did a little spin around to the left end, and there were about 3 guys to take him down.
Well, let's hope Lionel Moore can get a good snap off. The last one was high. Butler on to do the punt. And back deep is going to be Mr. Hunter. And Butler is going to get this one away. He's going to kick it to the far sidelines.
That's a good kick.
That is a great kick. And Mr. Hunter, it might have touched him. It's rolling free inside the 5. Denison downs it at the 4. If it didn't touch him, it went right through his legs. That was close. I'm sure Danny Edelman is going to tell Mr. Hunter, don't make my heart skip a beat like that. 54-yard punt by Mr. Butler. He came into the contest tonight with a 43.3 average. It just went up.
This kid's got a leg. Wow. Left-footed kicker. And he really, and it was a spiral going on the other side of the field. He tried to punch it towards the corner, and he got it inside the 10-yard line on a 54-yard punt. That's amazing in high school football.
Ronnie Ford checks into the game for some duty in the secondary. Kellen Feder is going to check out. 1:30 to go in the half, 16-0. Denison leads. The Huskies pinned back in the shadow of their own end zone once again. The ball at the 4. One man in the backfield behind Graham. He's going to give it to Jakari Cooper. Hit at the line of scrimmage. He's got nowhere to go. He's going to get maybe a yard. 2nd and long coming up. And it was tackled by committee that time by the Yellowjackets. Eric Action Jackson was chairing that committee. He made the final grab.
He sure was. There's that Jacket defense, and they're on the field.
And the clock rolling. Hirschi is going to hand it off again. Jakari Cooper broke the line of scrimmage. Look out. He's still running out to the 15-20, and he is going to be wrestled to the turf finally by Ronnie Ford on the far sideline. That's the problem with stacking everybody in tight expecting the run. If you can block a few people and create a hole, there's nobody to stop the running back when he gets past the line of scrimmage. That time, Mr. Cooper picked up 20 yards.
Mr. Cooper is very quick, too.
1 minute and 1 second to go. They'll wind the clock. The ball at the 25 of Denison Graham. He's going to drop, wants to throw. He's got his man out there on the far flat, short of the first down. The question is, did he get out of bounds? I don't think so. And they do stop the clock, so apparently he did. 53 seconds to go in the half. The Huskies in the hurry-up offense. 2nd down and 3. The ball at the 32-yard line of Denison, or Hirschi, rather. That's after they started at the 4.
We've got an injured Denison Yellowjacket on the field. Looks like Alton Fugler is limping a little bit. He's not limping enough to come out of the game, but he's not 100% out there on that defensive line.
Yeah, looking like a cramp. Johnny Hoover checking out. Now Graham is trying to reset his offense, and they're going to burn a timeout. Hirschi is. We'll take it with him. 53 seconds to go in the half. 16-zip. Denison leads. Back in a moment with more Yellowjacket football. Back at Munson Stadium, 53 seconds left in the first half, 16-0 our score. As we head toward halftime, the Jackets trying to keep the goose egg on the board. The defense has played well tonight. They've put 9 points up. They're trying to hang a 0 on the other side, however, as we go into the locker room. Graham, the quarterback, rolling on the snap, wants to throw on the run, does so. It is going to be incomplete on the far sideline. Sets up 3rd down at about 3 yards to go. The intended receiver, T.J. Chancellor. And it'll be 3rd down and a long 3 to go. 47 seconds to go in the half.
Chancellor had it and dropped it is what it was. And Craddock was giving good pressure on the sideline over there on the far sideline. And Craddock really playing well tonight.
Yeah, he's picked it up this season.
He sure
well
has. He's played a good cornerback so far this season. And
I think last year was a learning experience for him. 1 for 4 for the Huskies on 3rd down. 47 seconds to go. 16-0 lead for Denison. As the defense shows the blitz, the Jackets jump. If they made contact, it's a 1st down. If the Huskies jumped, which I think may have happened.
Yeah, I didn't see contact from that defensive line.
I think the right guard flinched And the indication offsides against the Yellowjackets. That's an automatic first down after the 5-yard mark off. Well, the coaches are certainly glad they're in the lead, but I guarantee you they're going to do some preaching in the locker room. They've given up too many yards, and they've had too many mistakes. That's one thing that the coaching staff here prides themselves on, is not making mistakes, and that would cost Denison 5. This is going to be Graham running the option. It's going to be a pitch inside, and the ball was loose on the turf. The Jackets have recovered the football. Forrest Poole comes up with the fumble recovery. So that could cost the Huskies as they go with the trickery. Denison is probably 8 yards from James Butler's range as we speak. That would be a huge way to end the first half, to come up with points. And they've got the offense over on the near sideline talking to them. Coach Brown saying, let's not waste this opportunity, gentlemen. The ball recovered at the 36-yard line. Graham tried to pitch it back to Cooper inside. He couldn't get it.
Crawley really played well last week in the crunch time offense. Let's see what he does here.
4-receiver look, Crawley. This is a draw play to Ford, trying to weave his way uphill, 35-30, trying to get a block to the 25. He's in field goal range on the near side. Jackets with 2 timeouts, 31 seconds to go in the half. They're going to hurry to the line of scrimmage. They're going to set. That's not going to be enough for the first down, I don't believe. Yeah, it is. It's going to be, well, I don't know. They have stopped the clock. I don't think he's got enough. I think he's a yard short. So they're going to stop the clock long enough to measure. Timeout for measurement. Good job right there by Coach Brown. I think he asked for a measurement from the officials. It is close.
The Huskies obviously looking for pass with only 31 seconds left to go in the game, and they were not expecting the draw play apparently, as he scampered 10 yards. Looks like it might be the first down, and it is going to be, oh so close.
Half a foot short. 31 seconds to go. Jackets are going to have to hurry to the line. They're going to, as soon as they set the football, they will start the clock. Remember, James Butler is a left-footed kicker, and they are on the right hash mark. That's something that comes into play this year that hasn't in previous years, because Mr. Butler's the lefty, the southpaw. So you have to kind of think about where you want to position the football. Denison needs a first down. 31 seconds to go. They got 2 timeouts left in the first half. They're trying to get points. They're at the 28-yard line. This would be a 45-yard effort from here if they elected to try a field goal. They may try to get a touchdown as Johnson comes in motion. Crawley, long snap count. He's going to pitch it to Ford. Ford hustles to the line. He's got room to run to the 20, to the 15. Did he get out of bounds? I think he did. It's going to be a first down at the 15. If it's not out of bounds, they'll stop it momentarily to set the change with 18 seconds to go. Let's check down with the Fuzzinator. Fuzzy, are the Jackets looking for a touchdown, or are they looking for a field goal?
The way they're running up to the line, I feel like they are actually striving for the 6 points.
Well, this would be a huge momentum shifter if Denison can put any points on the board going into the half. 3 wide out look, the clock at 18 seconds, 16-0, Denison leads. Crawley, draw play again to Ford. He's up the middle, breaks a tackle to the 10, spins away to the 5, trying to get out of bounds, and does so at the 4-yard line. There is a penalty marker laying at the field, or at the 4-yard line. 2 penalty markers, 1 at the 10, 1 at the 4, and I'm afraid that's going to be against Denison. 8 seconds to go. Ronnie Ford able to get it inside the 4. If it's against Hirschi, Denison has 1 crack at the end zone, perhaps. Jason, what happened down there?
Well, the first one was, it looked to me like a hold, but the second one was definitely unsportsmanlike conduct as he hit the player out of bounds.
Face mask against the Huskies, and it looks like Jason is, well, it's 2 personal fouls, both against the Huskies. The ball was at the 4. That's going to move it half the distance to the goal line, to the 2. Denison's got 2 timeouts. They might be able to take 2 cracks at the end zone. Certainly they can take 1.
Well, they have 8 seconds to try to do it.
All right, here we go. The Jackets send Nesbitt to the far side. They'll send Ryan Johnson and Brian Adams near side. Offset eye look in the backfield. Ford will step up to the 7-yard line. First and goal from the 2-yard line. 8 seconds to go in the half. 16-zip. Denison in the lead with 2 timeouts. They want at least 3. They hope for 7. Crawley to the line, sets the Jackets as a man comes in motion. That's Johnson. This is a toss to Ford. Powers to the goal line. Did he get in? Yes! Stick it in the end zone. Put it on the scoreboard with 3 seconds to go in the first half. The Hirschi miscue comes back to haunt them huge. It's 22-0 Denison.
Just running straight forward, Ronnie Ford just powers over that defensive line of Hirschi. And like Lynn said, he stuck it in the end zone, and we're awaiting the PAT. This could be a 23-0 lead if the kick is true.
Man, the line doing it right there. Johnson putting the cap on it as Ford cracks the end zone. 22-0. The Jackets in the lead, and the Husky miscue comes back to haunt Coach Danny Edelman. There is a flag on the field. It is against the Huskies again. Denison might flirt with going for 2 here. That would give them a 24-0 lead. They're going to move it half the distance to the goal line. Denison might think about going for 2 here, but so far the kicking team still on the field. And they're going to mark it off to the 1.5-yard line. Denison may come over to talk about it. Coaching staff, they want a timeout to talk about it, and we're going to take one with them. 3 seconds to go. 22. Nope, we're going to keep it right here, I'm told. 22-0. The Jackets in the lead. They're going to take a timeout after the penalty. So Hirschi could have gone to the knee, gone to the locker room, 16-0 down, said, what's happened, guys? We're moving the ball. We don't have any points. How do we get back in this ball game? They take a chance. It cost them. Now a penalty could make it a 3-touchdown and 1 field goal game just to tie. Denison's coming up big here. Hirschi's coming up short.
Denison's coming up real big. Nice to see their offense started with only 35 seconds to go to try to score and put it down near the goal line. They did that all on running plays as Ronnie Ford carried the Denison offense literally on his back.
And that has to open up the passing game for Rob Crawley, because Denison's philosophy, you run to set the throw up. Not the other way around.
You're exactly right. You know, if you follow Denison Yellowjacket football, you know Coach Brown loves to win with the run, and he will win with the run.
But he wants to throw, but only on his terms.
Exactly.
And right now, they're on his terms. The Jackets with a big first half lead, 22-0. And the defense has told the tale in this one. A fumble return, 73 yards for a touchdown. A safety, which set up the Yellowjackets' first offensive touchdown. And then another fumble recovery by Forrest Poole with 41 seconds to go in the half has the Jackets with a 22-point lead. Hirschi, 10 penalties, 2 turnovers. Jackets, 3 penalties, 1 turnover. Complete reversal of last week.
Exactly. We talked about that going into the game. The Denison could not afford to have the Yellow Hankies on the field going against them. And this week they're not doing that, only giving up 3 as opposed to Wichita Falls 10.
Well, the Jackets are going to go for it after the mark-off. The ball is spotted at the 1.5-yard line. And Mr. Ford just took it 3 for a touchdown. This is a power eye look for Denison. Crawley's going to toss it forward. Heads left, cuts it inside to the goal line. He's across. The Jackets have a 24-0 lead with 3 seconds to go in the first half. And the home crowd coming to their feet, and well they should. This has been a fantastic first half by their Denison Yellowjackets.
James Summer teed up the ball for the Yellowjackets. Tee for the Huskies, number 6 to Marcus. White.
This is the swift kick. Going to be fielded by the up man for the Huskies. He's got nowhere to go. The clock is hit 000 as his knee goes to the turf. That was Michael Peterson. The half has expired, and the home crowd rising and roaring. 24-0 is the halftime lead for the Yellowjackets.
touch and go flag team are Lieutenant Heather Reese, Lieutenant Brandy Daniel, Lieutenant Starla Simon, Lieutenant Danielle Ham. Honor girls for this week are Brooke Heineman and Crystal Leach. The flag team is under the direction of Stacy Sisk. The officers for the touch and go drill team are Junior Lieutenant Sarah Black, Junior Lieutenant Mariah Brumley, Senior Lieutenant Jessica Means, Senior Lieutenant Natalie Franks, Head Lieutenant Kira Slaughter, Captain Sheena Paris. Honor girls for this week are Sarah Hoekstra and Ashley Farrell. The drill team is under the direction of Ms. Christy Herman. The touch and go drum majors are Head Drum Major Randy Ludwig, Assistant Drum Majors Mike Kyle and Ryan Elrod. We will now feature the flag team and drill team performing to Wooly Bully. Twist Again, and the Shoop Shoop song, better known as It's in His Kiss.
Ramirez on your Cable One kickoff. Monterio Johnson, Ronnie Ford, and Brian Adams, the deep man for Denison, as Ramirez gets set to boot it. Left to right, he'll kick it. Denison's going right to left from the south end zone. 24-0 the Jacket lead, and here's the second half kickoff. We're underway. This one a floater that Brian Adams is going to take at the 9-yard line. Heads to the middle of the field, to the 15. He's buried. There could be a face mask right there. There's not going to be a call. And Brian Adams slow to get up out to the 20-yard line.
Brian Adams was leveled there by Stephen Gold. And he leveled the black and gold of the Yellowjackets there, and Stephen really laid a hit on him. Brian Adams just slow to get up, but he's making it to the sidelines.
Your new Dodge starting lineup offensively for Denison: left tackle Cliff Davis, left guard Robbie Thomas, Alton Vugler the center, Johnny Hoover the right guard, Nathan Breedlove the right tackle, the tight end Eric Jackson, Brian Adams out wide, Stengel Parker the split end, Crawley the quarterback, Ronnie Ford the tailback, and Pritchard the fullback. That's your new Dodge starting lineup for the second half. First play from scrimmage, wing look to the right. This is a high toss. Ronnie Ford, he's heading to the right sidelines. Gets a block on the corner. He's going to turn it up 25, still going to the 30. Rumbles for a first down out to the 37-yard line. That's enough for a first down, and that's 100-plus yards for Ronnie Ford. The first time in his career he goes over the century mark.
That's a 17-yard gain, and Ford looks really good. He's very strong. He's very quick. He's got everything that you would want from a tailback.
He's got everything that Coach Bob Brown's wanting right now. He's got 100 yards, and we're only one play deep into the second half. He could be on his way to a 200-yard night if he could rip off a big run somewhere in this one. Offset eye look, two receiver to the near side. Adams in motion. Crawley on 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. This is a reverse. Adams is going to get it, trying to outrun the coverage. He's got to get a block, can't find it, goes down at the 24. There's a late flag thrown. We'll have to wait and see what the indication is.
It's going to be a clip, a block in the back by quarterback Rob Crawley. Adams was waiting to read that block from Crawley, and he just couldn't. He turned the corner, and only thing that Crawley could do is hit him in the back, and that drew the flag. So a big loss, and now the penalty, and we'll see what Wichita Falls elects to do.
They're going to decline this one. It was a huge loss. I think they would decline it. We'll wait and see. It's back to the 25-yard line. That's a loss of almost 11 yards, a good 10 yards. The line of scrimmage just across the 35-yard line. The ball just inside the 25. And let's see what the indication is. It's going to be a holding infraction against Denison, and it's declined. Huskies will take the play. They'll burn the down, and it'll be second down and 11. Second down and 20, rather, not 11. Don't know where I dialed that up. Second down and 20 from the 25. Some work to do for the Jackets. Two wide out look. Robertson, the tight end, comes in motion. And this is going to be a quick handoff. Pritchard right up the gut of the field, breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage and surges ahead to the 30-yard line. That little guy is not so little, and he runs like a big boy.
Yeah, he took the entire defensive line on his back and kept moving the pile 5 yards after he got the football. And it's probably a 7. I want to call it a 7. No, it's going to be a 5-yard gain, and it looked longer than that. I guess probably because he carried everybody on his back.
Don't forget, tomorrow morning you can hear the Red River High School report, 7:19, 8:19, and 9:19 right here on Katy Country with Jason Fuzzy Smith. Third down and 15 to go for the Jackets as Lionel Moore comes in motion. This is a toss to Ford, trying to find his seam. Look out, 35, 40, still going. He's got the first down and more, 50, 45, to the 40, trying to find the block. Can't find it. That's a great run. The ball's loose on the turf, and Hirschi could have recovered. It's going to depend. No, they're going to say he hit the out-of-bounds marker before he lost the football. And Ronnie Ford, that was electrifying. He stumbled at the first down marker, somehow kept his balance, put the fingers to the ground, did a spin move, and kept going.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened, Lynn. He took the ball. He got hit right about where the marker was, and I don't know how he kept his balance on that, but he did.
Absolutely great run as Mr. Ford goes way over the 100-yard mark. He's off again. 40, 35, trying to find a block. 30, 25, and ridden out of bounds at the 23-yard line. It's another first down for the Jackets, and after the Jacket offense couldn't get the ball moving in their first two possessions, Ronnie Ford beginning to eat up yardage in big chunks, and that's the way they like it here in Denison, Texas.
That offensive line has gelled really well coming here in the latter parts of the first half, and here early going in the second half, these young kids are really stepping it up.
Coach Brown would not want me to say this, So maybe we can get him to turn this down Tuesday night on the replay, but a touchdown here, and you might put the first nail in the coffin. I formation, two tight look, one receiver, Brian Adams, hanging out there in the corner. This is going to be a handoff, Ryan Pritchard, and he's going to be hit after a short gain.
There was a little mix-up on that play as Crawley turned. I don't know if it was Crawley turned the wrong way. He was looking for Pritchard to be inside, and he actually was outside as he turned, and that was kind of a busted play and had nowhere to go from the start.
Yeah, maybe we ought to start calling Rob Elvis, because his hip sure did they sure did some movement as he was looking one way and had to really quickly come back the other way. Somehow got the handoff completed. It is 2nd down and 8. The ball to 21, 9:49 to go in the third quarter of play. 24-0. Denison in the lead. They're looking for more here. 3 wide out look. One man, Ford in the backfield. Coming in motion is going to be Ryan Johnson, or Lionel Moore, rather. Ford gets the toss left side, cuts it back into the middle, and picked up 5 tough yards up the middle. It's going to be 3rd down and short for Denison High School.
I'm telling you, Ronnie Ford is shifty, and he shakes a lot. He gets into that line, and he's moving.
You know who he's starting to remind me of?
Don't say it.
Chris Robertson.
Okay.
Chris Robertson. He is a tough, hard-nosed runner, and he's got deceptive speed, and he's showing it tonight.
That was a 6-yard gain, just real quick, right to the middle.
3rd and 3, toss to guess who? Mr. Ford, 1st down and more. 15 to the 10, to the 5. He's to the pylon. Did he get in? No. He is going to be 2 yards shy, a 13-yard gain. He ripped it off left tackle, and Ronnie Ford is eating this Munson Stadium turf up in big gulps.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Ronnie Ford Show. He is taking over this game as he's running just about all the way down the field. And he'll, look, who would you give it to here? How about Ronnie Ford?
Yeah, maybe. Imagine so. Power eye look for Denison. The ball at the 2-yard line. Crawley sets the Jackets. He is going to turn, hands it off. Guess who? Ronnie Ford, right tackle. Stick that one in the end zone and put it up on the scoreboard. The Jackets are absolutely hitting on all cylinders right now, and it is 30-0. Denison in the lead. 8:54 to go in the third. Ronnie Ford shattered the 100-yard mark on that drive. He carried the Yellowjackets on his back. There is a penalty marker laying at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be illegal substitution, I believe, against Denison. So hold everything. Yeah, Mr. Butler coming to the sidelines. Let's see if they keep the, unsportsmanlike conduct. Got my calls confused there. I was thinking, man, they might take that one off the board right there, but they're not going to do it.
This will be a 35-yard extra point.
Yeah,
how about that?
Get to see what kind of a leg Mr. Butler's got.
Well,
30.
If he can kick it like he punts it, it's going to be good.
Ball's going to be spotted at the 25. Nesbitt gets the hold down. It is a low kick. It was hit at the line of scrimmage, no good. And Nesbitt had to hurry to get the ball on the tee, and Butler just pulled it, and somebody got a paw on it at the line of scrimmage. It was a low kick. No good. 8:54 to go in the third. 30-0. That's about the only thing Denison's done wrong tonight. They lead Hirschi back in a moment on KMKT. Swift kick going to be taken by Michael Peterson. He's going to pinball his way upfield for a few yards on the Cable One kickoff. And how about these numbers? You already know it's 30-0 on the board. How about this? 21 carries, 179 by Ronnie Ford with 3 touchdowns. I think the Denison running game's off and running.
The offensive line has done a great job. We talked earlier about they have to control the line of scrimmage. They didn't do that so much in the early parts of the first quarter, but they've done it ever since.
Yep. All the defense has got to do now is lay the ear flaps back and go after them. 30-0 our score. Denison over Hirschi early in the third quarter, and Graham, the quarterback, play action, wants to throw, look out. Jackson coming from behind. It's caught and then tackled immediately is going to be Tornell Hunter as he goes down at the 40-yard line. Antoine Craddock makes the tackle, and Action Jackson was rumbling into Mr. Graham's ear flaps, and he got rid of the football just before Eric got there. It's a completion.
The reason Jackson was in his face because he picked up the tight end and threw him to the wayside. Jackson just really rumbling in there and causing some havoc and put some pressure on the quarterback. Unfortunately, he had some time to throw the ball.
Well, he was throwing on the run, and he found his man in the seam. 3 receiver look, 1 man in the backfield. Hirschi going to have to play catch up in a hurry. That is going to be a loose football, perhaps. Nope, they're going to call it incomplete. That was very close once again to being one of those lateral plays. It was right down the line of scrimmage, but it's an incomplete pass. 2nd down and 10 coming up. 8:17 to go in the 3rd. Lynn Burkhead, Monte Walker, and the crew here with you. That'd be Monte Walker, as I mentioned, Dale Davis, our spotter, Kevin Farr, the Wizard, doing the stats and producing this thing, and of course the Fuzzinator roaming the sidelines. We're going to check in with Jason in just a moment. Our score here, 30-0. Denison in the lead. Early going of the second half. These are the kind of numbers the Jackets like putting up. This is going to be a wing T look. Receiver to the near side. Toss Jakari Cooper. He tries to get outside. Left side does so. 25 to the 35-30. 25 inside to the 20. And that's where he goes down in a heap. He got the first down in a country mile more. The Yellow Jacket defense bending right now. They're going to try to keep the goose egg on the board and not break.
Yeah, that was a 20-yard gain before Feder just tracked him down, and he loves to get those guys from behind around the shoulders and really throw them down, and that's what he did again. And we've seen that probably 4 or 5 times already this year that Feder's been able to do that.
Fuzzy, real quick, the Jackets want to hang a shutout, don't they?
Oh, man, that would be the best thing they could do is to hang a shutout on them. And real quick, looking for a fan of the game. So if you guys are listening to Katy Country here at the stadium, I need to see you making some motions at me.
That's right. Yellow Jacket Fan of the Week, 3rd quarter. Fuzzinator looking. This is going to be a toss into the end zone, and the Jackets have intercepted the football. Denison has intercepted the football on a great play, and it is Brian Adams, BA, on the interception in the end zone. He got the inside position, did the rest.
Boy, he can catch on offense and he can catch on defense. Boy, does this guy play some football.
And Denison's bend but not break defense does it again, and the goose egg remains. 7:43 to go, and Hirschi's got to begin to get demoralized somewhere down the road. They're down by 30 points in the early stages of the 3rd quarter. And not once, but twice tonight, as they're staring at the Yellow Jacket goal line, they come away empty. And the first time, they came away with a 73-yard fumble return for a touchdown that kind of set the tone for this one. High formation, Pritchard in motion. On 1st and 10, this is Crawley handing off forward. Uh-oh, look out, 25. If he can get past that man, he's in business. He can't do it. He pinballs out to the 28-yard line. It's enough for the first down. Or no, it's not. It's going to be a yard and a half shy. But Ford again ripping up big yards.
Let's check that. It was Nick Wells in at quarterback this time. Crawley out. Don't know if Crawley's hurt. Don't know if he is on the sidelines. But Nick Wells that time was in at quarterback, and let's see if he's still out there.
Yes,
and he is.
Yeah, I don't see Rob, but I don't see him on the bench, so I don't think he's hurt. Ronnie Ford's still in the ball game. He's got 170. He's got 180 plus yards right now. As Robertson goes in motion, handoff Pritchard. He banks his way up the middle. 30, 35, powers to the 36-yard line. First down, Denison, and this running game starting to hit on high octane.
Well, they sure are, and Pritchard's running tough. You just can't stop him once he gets going. He's very quick. He's a real stocky guy. He's probably, I want to say he's 5'9". They don't list it. I think we'll call him 5'9" because that's about what he is, and he's tough. He's explosive.
Yeah, the Jackets just running the clock right now and getting Nick Wells some valuable experience at the quarterback spot. Nick Wells is a senior, getting some time at the QB spot. Pritchard comes in motion across the line of scrimmage. This is going to be Ford. He gets it right, comes up the middle, feet shot out from under him, lost the football. Hirschi may have come away with a fumble recovery. Nope, they're going to say Ford was down before he lost the ball, and the Huskies may have an injured player.
Injured player on the field. On the carry, brought down in the backfield by number 64, Barrett Stafford. First quarter scores, Wichita Falls High Coyotes 38, Sherman Bearcats 0.
News for one Wichita Falls team, great news for another team. Hirschi taking it on the chin, 30-0. We'll update you on the Sherman Wichita Falls score in just a minute, and there's a flag before this play can get underway. while we were away, there was a play run. It was a loss of 2 yards, and it always seems to happen when you take an injury time. I guess what happens? The player hops right up and walks off the field. And that's what happened. This is going to be a procedure penalty against the Yellowjackets. It's going to back them up another 5 yards. Not the way that Bob Brown wants to see the clock burned. And we're going to check in with Jason Fuzzy Smith in just a moment. I think he's picked a Yellowjacket Fan of the Week. 3 wide out look for Denison. Nick Wells still the quarterback for the Jackets. 1 man behind him. This is going to be a reverse. Ryan Johnson rumbles his way upfield to the 36-yard line. That's almost the original line of scrimmage, and James Butler's going to have to punt the football away for one of the few times tonight, and he's had a dandy night, even though he hasn't punted the football much. He has a 54-yarder tonight.
Yeah, that was a great punt all the way down to the 5-yard line, which really set up some great play by the Denison defense. And when you can get field position like that, you can control the game by getting great field position.
38-0, the score out in Wichita Falls. Falls over Sherman. We get the update over the PA just a moment ago. Mr. Butler nails another one. It's an end-over-end kick. Tornell Hunter takes it at the 35 up to the 40. Look out, breaks a tackle, and then he slammed to the turf at the midfield stripe. Nice return. It was a nice punt by Butler, but it was a better return by Hunter as he broke a couple of tackles.
I tell you what, we're getting used to hearing this. He was slammed to the turf by Kellen Feder. That's seeming to be something we hear quite often.
Yeah, I'm impressed with some of these kids on defense. 38-0, the update at Wichita Falls Memorial Stadium. The Coyotes are for real, folks. They're ranked 6th in the state, and they're handing Rodney Tips and his squad all they can handle tonight. And that's in the 3rd quarter. 24-7, Hugo over Durant at halftime. 28-11, the final last night. Ryder losing to Lawton Ike. 7-6, Paris over Samuel in the 3rd. We'll give you a couple more scores in just a moment as Dustin Graham comes to the line of scrimmage. Split backs behind him. 2 wide out look, 1st and 10 from the midfield stripe. This is a toss. Jakari Cooper heads left. Wants to find some room. Can't do it. He's going to squirt free, though, and he's going to pick up 3 or 4. There's a late flag. We'll have to check that one. And while we're checking that, I believe, Jason, you've got a Fan of the Week.
That I do, Lynn. I'm joined now with Chet Haney up in the stands. And Chet, now you listened on your radio all week last year. We've chosen you as our Fan of the Game here this week. What are you seeing in this game here tonight?
We're seeing lights out football tonight. This is the real Denison Yellowjackets, baby.
All right. Well, what we have for you is your choice of either a T-shirt or 4 tickets to the Austin College Kangaroos versus the Millsaps Majors. Your choice. What are you going to take?
When is the game here?
That is tomorrow.
Okay, I got to go to Wichita Falls tomorrow, take the T-shirt. But you know what? This game would not be going so well if it weren't for Lynn Burkhead. He is the man.
Hey, wait a minute. There's somebody else up here in the booth too, Chet.
Monty's feeling left out up there.
Hey, Monty's okay, but Lynn, he is the man. Monty does a good job, but Lynn is the man.
Hey, man.
How much are you paying this guy, Lynn?
Yeah, I know. That's what I wanted to know.
Hey, that's my mom and dad's pastor over at Parkside Baptist, so he obviously knows character when he sees it, doesn't he?
Take him out to eat again,
I've got
Lynn.
the wool pulled over his eyes, I guess. Chet's a good guy. Back to the game. It is 1st and 23 from the 37-yard line. And Hirschi is going to hand it off. Jakari Cooper corralled from behind, and it's nowhere to go.
That's going nowhere. Brandon Scruggs and company, and this guy is all over the place. He's big, he's fast, and he's always over the ball.
You know, Chet, getting back to our Fan of the Week, he was quite a football player in his prime. Played at Baylor University back when they were a pretty good football team. Was an offensive lineman, and he's a big fella.
He is a very big guy. I've seen him only because you take him to lunch every week. Comes up to the office. We've got Jason with another one down here.
Jason, what you got?
There we go. All right. Yeah, I have our second Fan of the Game. And we'll be right back in just a minute. You guys bring it right back to me.
All right. 2nd and 25 from the 35 for Hirschi. 30-0. Denison leads. 3:47 to go in the 3rd quarter. They'll send Hunter in motion. This is going to be a reverse. This is going to be their tailback. We haven't seen him in a while. Chauncey Lanier. He's going to break free. 45, 50. Tripped up at the 47. Goes down to Denison territory at the 44-yard line. Flag down in the backfield. Probably coming back. That was Chauncey Lanier on the carry. And we haven't called his name much at all. What you got, Jason? Got another fan?
Yes, guys, I'm joined with Cindy Dutton, who is, by the way, Brett Taylor's mom. She listened all the way from Omaha, Nebraska, as far as she could pick us up in last week, and was very pleased with our broadcast. So I decided to make her our second Fan of the Game tonight.
And she likes Monty Walker up here in the booth,
I don't know if she likes Monty too much. But, Cindy, your outlook on the game so far tonight?
I'd say they're doing an outstanding job. They're looking good.
And Brett tonight?
Brett is awesome. He is just awesome. What a defender, man.
All right, well, good deal. What I've got for you is 4 tickets to the Austin College Classic. That is tomorrow, so if you get a chance to use those, be sure to do that and go on compliments of KT Country.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Back to you guys.
I want to encourage our fans during the home games to bring your Walkmans and your transistors, and hey, if you got a Wurlitzer or whatever that thing's called, drag it to the stadium and listen to the broadcast.
Bring your laptops.
That's right. And if you are not at the stadium, if you got grandparents or somebody out and about around the country or even around the globe, this game's going global. We'll tell you about that in a moment. This is going to be third and a country mile. Handoff to Jakari Cooper, and he's going to pinball his way for about 4 yards. So it's on second down, and 34 was the actual down. The scoreboard had it third down, but the dial it down had second. And Monte, they've got to go from, well, almost their goal line, almost to the Denison goal line for a first down.
Yeah, they're backed up pretty far. Thanks to Brandon Scruggs and company. He was once again on that play with Brett Taylor. And this, we can rant and rave about this Denison ball club all night, but their defense has really stood up and done the job.
Yep, they've done it. We're going to take a timeout because the Huskies want one. 2:44 to go in the third. 30-0 our score. Denison rolling in this one. Back in a moment on KT Country. Denison High School football continues in a moment. It is 3rd and 31. Wing look for the Huskies as Dustin Graham sets them. He's going to play action pass, wants to throw, he's going to launch one downfield. It's going to be almost caught, but then dropped. That would have been a highlighter right there as Michael Peterson went leaping in the air at the 50-yard line, got the fingers on it, and it just hung there for just a second.
Well, he couldn't haul it in. It looked like he was going to bring it in with that one hand, but just as we thought he was going to bring it in, it fell short, and Brian Adams on the coverage, actually right behind him, stride for stride, and now they'll have to punt. And actually 2:37 in the third quarter left.
Ontario Johnson and Brian Adams standing at the 40-yard line. This is going to be Ramirez to do the punting duties, I believe. Bad snap, Tony Jones, the punter. The Jackets coming in. Jones is going to go down in a heap. Well, he's still going, but there he goes. He was struggling in vain. It wasn't going to happen, and Denison's got point-blank field position again.
Hirschi coach Danny Edelman is not going to like what he sees with the special teams. He came in earlier in the game talking about the kicking game being very important and being in the field position. And
all right.
I tell you.
Go ahead. I got my moment in the sun. Go ahead. Bring it up.
What are you talking about, Lynn?
Oh, come on, you Mr. Howell Bulldog. You beat Danny Edelman when he was out at Olney with a PAT that tied the game and gave the Bulldogs a penetration win. And
that was in the area championship in 1990, 10 years ago. And
he was fussing at you before the game, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
He said, "You're that guy?" Thought he's going to take your legs out from under you. This is going to be Crawley. Play action. He's back in the game. Fires one. Eric Jackson inside the 10 to the goal line. He's going to be stopped 1 yard short, and give Crawley a lot of credit. He fired an absolute bullet to a crossing tight end, Eric Jackson, and it's hard to miss that target.
Boy, Jackson is a big guy. If you don't hit him, then you can't hit anything.
And Crawley laid a bullet in there, and he hit him in stride, and I think he's going to become an important cog in this passing offense down the way. First and goal from the 1, 2:09 to go in the third. Denison trying to put more on the board, and this is going to be Crawley. It's a busted play. He says, "I think I'll take it myself." Does he get into the end zone? Nope, he's going to be denied just short. Somebody was supposed to take the football that didn't do it, and Crawley said, uh-oh.
Yeah, Crawley turned around and it was handed off to somebody, but nobody was there. So
pretty lonely feeling in the backfield.
Quick decision. What do? You just turn it up and try to get it in the end zone, and tried to do that, but he came up just a little bit short.
Got back to the line of scrimmage, so second and goal from the 1. $1:39 to go in the third. Denison already leading 30-0 as Kellen Feder's into the ballgame, dotting the power I look. He's going to get the handoff. Powers to left tackle, stick it in there into the end zone, put it on the scoreboard. The Jackets hang another one. It's 36-0 Denison, and wipe out any thoughts you had of last week, folks, because this Yellow Jacket team, they're taking care of business.
They sure are. That's their theme for the year, and it's not even Jacket quarter yet, as we've got 1:31 before we enter that fourth quarter, which is what they call Jacket quarter, and they showed that last week as well.
Nesbitt will do the whole. Lionel Moore, the snapping. Actually, I believe it's going to be Brandon Scruggs. No, it is going to be Moore doing the snapping. Nesbitt to hold. Butler on for the PAT. Low snap. Nesbitt gets it down. Mr. Butler's kick is perfect. 1:31 to go, 37-zip. Denison leads. Yellowjacket football continues in a moment. Good kick. Butler's going to bang it over Tony Jones' head, but he's going to backtrack and get it. Heads to the far side, trying to find room to run. He's got a seam, but not much of one. He goes down at the 31-yard line. Did a lot of running for 1 yard. Late flag comes hauling in. I'm afraid that one may go against the Yellowjackets. Could be a little extracurricular activity after the hit. Let's check down with the Fuzzinator. Fuzzy? A lot different atmosphere on that sideline this week in the third quarter than last week.
Oh, man, it's a complete 180 from last week. It's not necessarily really fired up. It's just a calm over the team. There's not any stress. Yeah, focus, you might say. No stress. The guys are just really determined at what they're doing, and they're executing quite well tonight.
Well, it is going to be, I believe, an inadvertent face mask, the indication, and that's the indication. 5-yard walk-off, not the 15-yard variety. Going to be first down and 10 from the 35-yard line instead of the 30. $1:20 to go in the third quarter. It is 37-0. Denison in the lead. I think it's getting pretty close to put it in the bank time. About the only question that's going to remain in this one in the not too distant future is whether or not there's going to be a goose egg on the Hirschi side of the scoreboard. The Jacket defense certainly has something to say about that. This is going to be Dustin Graham going to throw, and Forrest Poole got his paws up in the air, and it's incomplete. Forrest Poole climbed the ladder, his Michael Jordan imitation. He almost picked that off, and he was a good 2.5 feet off the ground.
Yeah, he did. He has a nose, well, like we said earlier, he has a nose for the football. He's a very smart defensive player, always in the right position, it seems like. He's Johnny on the spot again as he gets his hands on it, tips it just over the head of the intended receiver, Tornell Hunter, as he couldn't get it because Poole simply knocked it up in the air and out of reach.
Alton Fugler's still limping around a little bit. We'll get Fuzzy to check that out in just a moment. Yellowjacket defensive tackle and center. Don't need to lose Alton. This is going to be a reverse. It's going to be Kevin Brown trying to pinball downfield, and well, the flippers were flipping him around, and he finally went down in a pile of Yellowjacket jerseys.
Well, we talked about Fugler being hurt. He's now going to come out of the game, but he made a great defensive play right there, forcing the ball carrier out, or forcing him back up inside as he stayed outside and contained and let the men run inside. And that's where all the Jackets are, is inside, so you don't want to run up in there.
Brett Taylor checking in, and as you speak, Alton Fugler checking out of the ball game. 3rd down and 7. From the Hirschi 37-yard line. It started off good for Hirschi. Nothing's gone right for Danny Edelman's squad since the first quarter. And it's 3rd down and 7. Graham, quick drop, throws on the move, and it's going to be caught, but short of the first down by a step. Literally by a step.
That's a nice defensive play by Montario Johnson in the safety position back there. Knew exactly where he needed to be in order to not let them get the first down. As soon as he caught the ball, he was there to grab him, pushed him out of bounds, and that's a great defensive play.
Well, it's going to... Go ahead, Lynn. 1 foot is not even a foot, maybe 6 inches, and they don't need to measure because it happened on the far sideline about 3 inches away from the chain, and they know exactly how far Hirschi's got to go. They're going to go for it, and somebody's going to call a timeout. We're going to tell, no, that's the quarter. That's what it is. There's your timeout. See what happens when you're having fun. 37-0. Jacket fans are having a lot of fun tonight. Back for the 4th quarter, Jacket quarter on Katy Country after this timeout. The Jackets lead heading into Jacket quarter. 4th down and less than a yard to go for Dustin Graham and the wing tee look for the Hirschi Huskies. Denison stacking the line. Graham's got the first down. Quarterback sneak, and the Huskies finally have something to cheer about. Let's check down with the Fuzzinator. Fuzzy, you know, I got to tell you something about these Denison fans. Last week, as Denison was losing, they stuck around.
Right.
And tonight, they're doing it again.
You know, they sure are. It's a whole lot more fun to stick around in a situation like tonight than it was last week. But the case remains the Jacket fans are still faithful, still loyal, still here tonight. Quick update on Alton Fugler. It does appear to be just cramps in his lower left calf. He keeps stretching that, going in, and they'll cramp up again, and trying to rehydrate him at the moment.
All right. Knew we could count on Fuzzy for an update. That's right. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. This is a toss to Mr. Cooper trying to get outside, cuts it back inside, stumbles across the 50 into Jacket territory at the 49. Pick up a 4 or 5 yards on the play. Monte, you played a lot of football. One of the big concerns in the heat is fluid replacement. You lose a lot of fluid, you lose a lot of sodium playing football. Almost a gallon of sweat lost in a game like tonight by a pro football player, and about the same for high school or college. And last week, the buzz was the Philadelphia Eagles, they're drinking pickle juice.
Yeah, I got sick and tired of hearing about pickle juice last year, especially as they were putting it on the Cowboys. But that stuff really works, as we went through that in the early 90s.
Well, we'll talk a little bit more about that. Play action. Graham coming near sideline, hit as he throws it downfield, and he had nobody to throw it to. He just got rid of the football, paid the price. The Eagles and the Packers are the only teams in the NFL using pickle juice, and we're talking real live pickle juice, folks. In the high school ranks, there's a couple of schools in the Metroplex that are using it, and in the college ranks, Georgia, BYU, and my beloved University of Texas using the pickle juice. By the way, Texas getting ready for the sacrificial killing tomorrow. Louisiana Lafayette. 6th ranked Texas at home against Louisiana Lafayette. 70s within reach. About the only thing that's in doubt tomorrow, I think, is who's going to be the quarterback. Had to throw that gig in there for Mr. Boomer Sooner, Monty Walker. This is going to be Dustin Graham rolling, hit as he throws downfield, almost intercepted. It's incomplete. And that was the 3rd down and 6 play, and the Huskies probably in go-for-it territory here. What do they have to lose? They're down 37-0, and at this point, Danny Edelman just simply trying to get ready for next week.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You were talking about that Boomer Sooner. I was about to start singing the school song, but I figured to save ratings and to save the people at home, I figured I would just keep quiet.
Thank you. You work for a radio station that plays music. Please don't try to perform it. 4th down and 6 for the Huskies. 10:42 to go in the game. The officials want to stop play for some reason. Timeout. We're going to join the Jackets. 37-0. Back in a moment with more Denison High School football on KMKT. This is going to be Tony Jones on for the punt. He's going to kick it away. He says, I don't want anything to do with a return. And it goes out of bounds at the 25-yard line. And so the Jackets will start 1st and 10 from their own 26-yard line. At 10:35 to go in the game. It's Jacket quarter, and the Jackets cruising in this one, 37-0. The defense got it going. 9 unanswered points. The offense said, hey, hang on. We can play this game too, and they've got it going. And Ronnie Ford, he's really got it going. Don't see him in the ball game, and don't imagine we're going to see him the rest of the way. He has almost 200 yards tonight. Shelly Pitts started everything off with a 73-yard touchdown return. Kellen Federe going to get a chance now to see if he can crack the century mark. He's going to have to make up a lot of room in a hurry as Pritchard goes in motion. This is going to be Nick Wells, the quarterback, hands it off to Federe. He is hit as he got the football and scoots forward for 2 or 3 yards.
Yeah, this is a chance when you take all of the main guys, your skill position players out, the ones that your Ronnie Fords and your Brian Adams, you take those out of the game and risk of injury. You don't want to get them hurt, but you don't want to take out your 2 sophomore linemen. You want to leave them in there and get them as much experience as you can.
Oh, really, Dave Campo? You mean you don't leave your $42 million receiver in the game?
I don't think we have a $6 million lineman.
Nick Wells is going to hand it off to the Yellowjackets, $6 million tailback at the moment. Kellen Federe breaks 1 tackle, then another look out, 35, 40, still going to the 45-yard line. He ripped off some yards right there. Kellen Federe made that one look easy. He went left, said, nope, nothing there. Headed right, said, nope, nothing there. Found a seam, cut back again, and took off to the races. Nice gain for Mr. Federe.
Well, you like to see that. Kellen Federe really running on all cylinders. Ford pretty much took the offense on his shoulders all night long, and Federe's looking to do the same thing here in Jacket quarter.
Yep. Ford had carried the Jackets for most of 3 quarters. He ends the night with well over 180 yards rushing. We'll get his, what I assume will be his final numbers in just a moment. Doubt we'll see him again. Federe, the tailback, again gets the toss, comes near side, breaks and tackle back to the line of scrimmage as he was hitting the backfield. And he is maybe a yard beyond the line of scrimmage. We'll call it 2nd and 9. Clock rolling, 9:17 to go in the game. It's 37-0. We talked coming in that the average margin of victory for Bob Brown over the Hirschi Huskies was 42-3. They're very much on pace for that.
Oh, definitely. They well within reach, 37-0 with 9:02 left in Jacket quarter.
And
go ahead.
If Kellen Federe is your backup,
yeah, that's tough.
You're not hurting too bad. And he will dot the I in the backfield. 2nd down and 9, and this is going to be Nick Wells handing it off inside to Pritchard, the fullback. Nowhere to go, really, as he squirts free for maybe a half-yard gain. Ronnie Ford's numbers tonight, probably his final numbers, 24 carries, 184 yards, and 3 touchdowns, and Mr. Ford gets well over the century mark. Wish he could have gotten another 16 yards to get to that 200-yard mark, but Jackets will be very happy to take the win, and Mr. Ford's 184 yards. Denison piling up some monster rushing totals right now. 3rd down and 8 for Denison from their own 46-yard line. Nick Wells watches Pritchard go in motion. He's going to turn. This is going to be a deep handoff, but Air coming near side, rips it to the 50. Can't get the first down. Going to be tackled 2 yards shy. Pick up a 5 on the play. 8:01 to go in the ball game, and Denison will have to punt the football away. You would think they would. Don't see Butler coming out on the field just yet, but there we go. There's the punt unit. And the Jackets are going to be content just to boot it deep, let the clock continue to roll. And you know, there's something psychological about 40s. Sure hope we can get there.
The magic 40, we're going to field goal away.
Butler fields that on the 1 hop, gets away a short kick. It's to the sideline. It's going to take a Denison roll and go out of bounds around the 31-yard line. Not his best effort of the night, but give him credit because it was a bad snap. He had to 1-hop it. Flag on the play. We'll have to check this hanky. And maybe Hirschi getting flagged for unsportsmanlike. They're getting pretty frustrated right now.
Well, that's the first time we've actually seen Butler shank a kick. That one would have been a 17-yard punt. If it stands, looks like it will, and they're going to move the sticks actually further than that.
Yeah, you know, it's not as well. One of the few times tonight the Zebras are going to walk it off against the Yellowjackets. I guess a little excessive celebration, and so boy, Denison almost could have just put the ball on the turf and
they could have gone for it.
Yeah, they could have gone for it. Comes back to the 46-yard line after the 15-yard mark off. Hirschi has 7:22 to try to hang something on the scoreboard.
Denison with still have their first-team defensive unit in for the most part.
Yeah, they want the shutout. 4 receiver look. This is going to be Graham. He's going to run the option. Pitches it. The ball's on the turf. It's skittering around, and Mr. Cooper has nowhere to go as he picks the ball up. That's the fullback for the Hirschi Huskies, Jakari Cooper, and he just got pummeled.
Yeah, he sure did. You can thank Eric Jackson for that. Jackson playing the right defensive end as they switch to the strong side each time, and as soon as the quarterback wanted to pitch the ball, Jackson was right there, just leveled him. He actually did make the pitch, but almost fumbled it.
He kind of fought his blocker off, and he just reached them big paws across the line and said, "Come here." And
Jackson's just so huge.
He creates havoc on every play.
He's a big guy out there.
It reminds me of Charles Haley. You have to know where he is every time you snap the football. Let's hope he can continue to cause havoc against opponents throughout this season. 2nd down and 13. Wing T look again. This is going to be the reverse to Tornell Hunter coming to the far side. He's at the 40, bottled up. Squirts free for a couple of extra yards, but not much there. 3rd down and 11.
You know, that looked like the old tackle trap play, the reverse tackle trap, and that's what Paris ran a lot last week and actually hurt Denison defense on. This time, Denison's right there, and they have not been hurt by that play at all tonight.
Nope, Monterio Johnson lassoed in Mr. Hunter right then. 6:05 to go in the game. The clock is on the roll. Denison moving toward win number 1 in the 21st century. It's going to be a convincing one. The only thing that's left to be determined is how convincing and whether or not the defense pitches the shutout. 3rd down and 12 from the Hirschi 45-yard line. Dustin Graham rolling to the near side, wants to throw on the run. Hit as he throws, incomplete. He was absolutely leveled by Johnny Hoover.
Woo!
That
nice play.
was a lick.
Nice play, Johnny Hoover.
Junior Johnny Hoover, by the way. He's coming back for more next year.
Just vacuumed him right up, didn't he?
Yes, sir. 6'4", 230, junior Johnny Hoover. He turned on the power and sucked up the quarterback for the Hirschi Huskies, Dustin Graham, and it's punting time, and Tony Jones in for the punting duty. You know, Here'd be a great way to cap this one. How about a special teams touchdown? Jones is going to send it away from the special teams. Brian Adams going to catch it, 25 up the sideline, 30 and out of bounds at the 34. There's a penalty marker on the field, however. And we'll check down with the Fuzzinator. Fuzzy, what's the penalty all about?
From where I'm standing, I couldn't see the infraction occur at all, so I really at this time don't know yet.
Well, it was on the run back, and that probably means it's against Denison.
Looks like Federer's going to check back into the ball game, so Ford is going to be done tonight, at least carrying the football. We saw him on defense a second ago. But Federer, that's not too much of a drop-off, is it?
Yeah, the penalty going to be assessed against the Jackets. Going to back them up a few yards as the reserves begin to show up in the lineup, and illegal equipment is the call. You don't see that call very often. Not sure what that is. I think you have to have certain things covered, and I don't know. Maybe
could actually be somebody didn't have their chin strap fastened, because they will call that as well.
Yeah, that or your mouthpiece has got to be in there. So if he saw that flopping around on the face guard, and that would draw the hanky. And whatever the equipment infraction was, it's drawn the hanky for the Jackets back to the 20-yard line.
We are getting a new lineman in there. Justin Melton will check into the game.
Nick Wells still the quarterback for Denison. He's gotten to play 2 or 3 series. Feder, with the backup lineman, doesn't have very far to go right there. Tough running up to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard, but the all-important thing is the clock, 5:20 and cranking. You can put this one in the books. The Jackets are going to go to 1-0. The only question is how impressively they're going to 1-0, and I think they've effectively erased any memories of last week.
Well, they've looked really well in all phases of this football game, Lynn.
Next Friday night, Wichita Falls, the destination. We get to play another Wichita County team. This is Feder on the handoff right up the middle of the field, and again, he doesn't have very much room to run with, and he goes down after another short gain. We'll call it 3rd down and 10, maybe 9. Yeah, they're going to give him a yard. 3rd down and 9, 4:40 to go in the game, 37-0. Ryder next up for Denison. They lost 28-11 last night.
Byron Miles will check into the game as a tight end, and we have lots of guys coming in and out of this offensive group.
Double tight set this is going to be Feder getting the ball. He's coming to the far side. He's got room to run. He's got the 1st down and more out to the 40-yard line. So 4:18 to go in the game. Kellen Feder says, I'm tired of running up the middle, boys. Let's go outside.
When all in doubt, run the sweep with Kellen Feder and get that speed out there, and that's what they do, and pick up the 1st down.
I don't know. Do you think Coach Brown likes to run the sweep?
I think Coach Brown really, really likes the sweep.
That is the epitome of Denison High School football. Bread and butter. Heck, throw the pickle jar in as well, because it's everything. You can even drink some of that pickle juice. Jackets have been drinking some of that pickle juice, I guess, because they're on their way to a route. 1st and 10, 4:18 to go in the game. 37-0 Denison. Handoff to the fullback. That's a new one in there. We'll have to check the number for you. And getting up off the bottom of the pile is going to be Ryan Johnson, getting some reserve fullback duty.
Wow.
He's not used to that. He was the starter last year.
You take 4 backs, your starters and your backups, and you've got 4 starters, to be honest with you, because you don't let down at either one of the fullback or tailback positions when you put Feder or Ryan Johnson in there.
Nope. You don't have any letdown at all. The only thing that's changed is the lineman in front of them, and they're getting some valuable experience. 2nd and 8. Nick Wells is going to toss it for Feder. He's coming near side. 35. There's a flag in the middle. 40, 45 up to the 50-yard line. Feder into Hirschi territory. Could be a flag for a late hit over here, which would make this offsetting, but the official's not going to do it. It's going to be a holding infraction against Denison. Anytime you see the back judge reach and chuck it right at the center, you know what's coming.
It's pretty much a guarantee that there's a hole right in the middle.
And I never can see that flag or that indication without thinking of those immortal words. Holding. Number 76, Paz Derrick.
Tony, you know that game. Tony Dorsett kept getting 1st downs, and I thought they were going to do it. They were in the Meadowlands up there playing the Giants, and I was a young kid. I was just getting used to watching Cowboy football, and I'll never forget Phil Posderick.
Yeah, and how'd you like to be remembered for that? Or how about Jackie Smith dropping potential Super Bowl winner in the end zone?
I was too young for that.
I was too, by the way.
My first remembrance was that catch.
Well, we are very much in the 21st century with Denison football, reliving some former Cowboy glories, and I'm afraid that's all that we may be able to do for a while. We'll have to wait and see. This is going to be second and a long, long way. Nick Wells, delayed handoff. Fadair, 35, 40, foot race, 45, 50, 45, or 30, 35, 20. He's down inside the 15 to the 10-yard line. First and goal at the 9. I tripped over the yards, but Kellen Fadair didn't do any tripping at all. He just rips another Yellow Jacket run, and Denison in business with 3 minutes to go in the game.
Whether it be Ronnie Ford, whether it be Kellen Fadair, Denison's ground attack is back. And Denison, your Yellow Jackets are going to be in the win column again.
Tony Jones saving the touchdown run. It stands as it is.
69-yard run.
Is a 68-yard run by Kellen Fadair. 3:04 to go in the game. Not 3 minutes. It was 3:10 to go. And the Jackets hustle to the line of scrimmage. They're going to try to put some more points on the board here. And this is going to be a handoff, a reverse. Ryan Johnson inside the 5-yard line. Flag on, no, fumble, and the Hirschi Huskies have picked it up. They're running for a touchdown. This is going to be the goose egg breaker right here. Kevin Brown picks it up, 97 yards. There it is, and it's in the end zone, and the goose egg is gone, folks.
Wow.
2:37 to go. Ryan Johnson got it on the reverse, coughed. 37-6. Well, Denison was trying to make it 44-0, and high snap. Ramirez is going to boot it. This one he may have missed. Nope, I thought he missed that one. It's good. I'll give up. 2:37 to go. Our new score 37-7. Denison leads late in the fourth quarter. Back in a moment with more Yellowjacket football. And he's going to kick this end-over-end kick. It's not going to go 10 yards. It hit a Hirschi Husky before it went 10 yards.
Goes out of bounds.
Yards to score in the pay dirt for a 37-7 lead now for Denison after that PAT, and there's 2:37 left here in Jacket quarter, and the Jackets are about to seal this one up.
Yeah, you gotta give the defense so much credit. Last week, Paris averaged 10.1 yards per play. This week, on third down, that is, Hirschi averaging 2.0. This is going to be Pritchard, the fullback. He's going to pick up some tough yards. Still going. Look out. That guy can run. He picked up 10 yards when he shouldn't have only had 1 or 2.
What he has is determination, Lynn. He's not going to go down. When you have determination that you will not be brought down, you won't. And that's what happened with Pritchard, and he got an extra 6 or so yards just fighting for extra yards.
Nick Wells checks out of the ball game, and Rob Crawley checks back into the ball game. Second down and short. The ball at the 40, 2nd and 2. Denison with Fadair dotting the backfield behind Pritchard. Crawley, the new quarterback, backup line. Nope, Eric Jackson's in the ball game. This may be the starting offensive unit. This is going to be the deep handoff. Fadair, he rips off 5 yards. There's a late penalty marker, though, and it's probably going to come back.
You don't want to see them get sloppy here in the last quarter just because they got a big lead. They still need to work on the fundamentals and doing what they need to do to win this football game, or actually just maintain what they've been doing all night.
Holding the indication against the Jackets. That's going to back it up. It's a mixture of starters and backups in the ball game. Big Eric Jackson was in the ball game, and Rob Crawley back in the ball game. Kellen Fadair, he's a part-time starter. Pritchard is the starter. That's going to back the Jackets up. 2nd down and 11. 1:50 to go in the game. 37-7 is the margin right now for Denison. They're going to improve to 1-1 on the season. Travel to Wichita Falls next Friday night to play Ryder at Memorial Stadium, one of our favorite places to visit. bring the soap. Going to the shower stall. Second down and 11. Crawley's going to pitch it to Pritchard. He's got room to run. 45, rips it off. 40, lowers his head and powers to the 35. Boy, the rushing yards are piling up for the Jackets.
We compared him to Moose Johnson earlier in the game, and he's doing pretty much the same thing there. A little quicker, but he lands on his face like Moose did. He had his legs taken out from underneath him.
He's always going forward.
Yes, he is.
119 and rolling here in the game. And the Jackets, that's all that separates them. $113 now. And Denison's in the win column for the first time in the year 2000. I formation of Federe and Pritchard. One receiver, two tight look. Crawley, the quarterback. The Huskies jump, get back. This is the handoff. Pritchard. He's driven backwards, but he stays on his feet. They didn't take him down.
Man, he's tough.
54 seconds to go in the game. This one's over with. The Jackets are going to start celebrating 1-1 on the season.
Hey, Fuzzy, what's the mood like over there down on the sidelines?
One that we hadn't had in a while. A mood of happiness, you know, joy, mission accomplished, something like that. I feel like the Jackets have actually made a statement to themselves tonight that they can actually do it.
Yep, and I'm sure Coach Brown going to say, guys, it's one game. Got to go out and do it next week. Now the Jackets going to take the proverbial knee. Crawley with the home run coverage behind him goes to the knee, and that's going to be the final play of the ball game. 15 seconds to go in the game.
Final score, Denison Yellowjackets 37, Hirschi Huskies 7. Thank you, good night, have a safe drive home.